Being a dirty Brit.
Everything's better than being a dirty Brit.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere, idiot.
No, I don't want to go anywhere. Apart
Why
from
not?
the camp in Idaho that Bears is setting up.
All right, let's start. Let's get going. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 217, defending the bad Indiana Jones movies. And I kind of like most of the Indiana Jones movies. I didn't really pay attention to the fourth one because it just didn't register with my brain. I was sitting there going, yeah, I've checked out. I'm
the
good.
Fourth one, you mean the fourth one, the Adventures of Young Indiana Jones?
I'm not sure what to call it. It's, oh, jeez. How would you guys describe the fourth film? I'm not even sure how to.
Blur. A big blur. Headache.
At one point, Shia LaBeouf swings through the jungle and catches up with a Nazi convoy that is mowing down the said jungle.
I think you'll find that they're Soviets, not Nazis. Come on.
Well, I'm quite sure
I mean,
weren't they Nazis? I'm quite sure they were.
Soviets.
no, they were Soviets.
Really?
They're Soviets because
Yes.
it's 1957, so it's the Cold War.
Ah.
Oh, good.
So they are
I like
essentially Nazis.
Ike. Do you remember that joke? I like Ike, which no one got because no one's 80 years old.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
My memories of Crystal Skull is just Ray Winston with a really weird mustache, and that's about it.
Well, I'm going to read a little blog. It has about, 15 fun facts about the Indiana Jones films, just to keep our brains fresh. Because not everyone has watched the films or remember the films, or maybe they saw one and they never really got into it. But they're really fun, popcorn munching films. They're not to be taken too seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just fun to watch. Let's start with
I swear to God, I bet you one of the things is Dan Aykroyd is in Temple of Doom and no one noticed.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. This is great because this also ties into other films as well. So here's number one. One dog inspired both Indiana Jones and Chewbacca. So Lucas named the main character Indiana Smith, but Spielberg protested that it's too similar to the 1966 Steve McQueen Western Nevada Smith and requested a change. So the three agreed that the last name should be as universal and nondescript as Smith. So Lucas threw out Jones as a possibility. Indiana came from Lucas's dog, an Alaskan Malamute named Indiana. The big hairy pup was also the inspiration for Chewbacca from Star Wars. So,
Well,
bravo, Lucas.
Well, they actually reference that little. They reference that little joke in
Last Crusade.
Yeah, Last Crusade. Thank you.
Really? I did not know that.
My name is Indiana. We named the dog Indiana.
Here's a receptionist at Lucasfilm helped out with Raiders of the Lost Ark special effects at Industrial Light and Magic. That's crazy. I'm not going to read that out, but that's just interesting factoid. The actor who played Short Round. If you don't know who Short Round was, he's the little Asian kid.
Mm-hmm. Isn't he in the Goonies as well?
I think so.
Actor.
He looks.
I can't remember if that was a very racist caricature or not.
Definitely Asian persuasion
really.
with the accent, but he was speaking English, so I didn't mind.
And he's not. Nothing's really.
It's not really it's not.
He's a cute
nothing
child sidekick. That's it.
Yeah, there's nothing bad, but it was just like, I wonder if this is like stereotypical and people throw a bitch fit about this today.
I think it'd be more the fact that he's just Asian, so obviously that must mean it's racist.
Oh, there you go. I would love to see, not Raiders of the Lost Ark. Jesus Christ. I can't remember the
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, Temple of Doom. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me today? But if Temple of Doom was released today, I just imagine Twitter would take a shit all over it and just.
This is great. I didn't know who Stephen, George, or Harrison were. I hadn't seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. I didn't even know this was a sequel. I thought Raiders of the Lost Ark was a prequel. It happened a year before.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, Raiders is set in 1935. Temple is set in 1934, and
Right.
Last Crusade is 38.
Right. Okay, there we go. I got them mixed up. After the shoot, Steven screened all his movies for me. Isn't that nice, Steven? Okay. Kate Capshaw's priceless dress was eaten by an elephant on set. All right, never mind.
Oh, cool.
Temple of Doom features
Hopefully she wasn't in it.
Yeah, I know. Just elephant coming around, just eating your clothes. Temple of Doom features one of Spielberg's personal favorite moments from his entire filmography, which is the for me to able to turn that idea into something with the bugs and a little coda where Willie's butt hits the trigger mechanism so the whole thing begins again, and to have the last shot of Indy reaching in and grabbing his hat just before this secret slab of concrete closes. That was my favorite thing to shoot on the entire production. Okay, cool. Temple of Doom created the PG-13 rating. Wow.
Oh.
And if you guys don't know the scene...
It should do.
Yeah, there's a scene where he rips out someone's heart and it magically covers up the wound, and then he sacrifices this dude to a lava pit, and this is all the time there's this giant cult just screaming and chanting and singing. And the
Kalima.
Kalima! And the heart just explodes into fire. And it's like this crazy inspiration.
Also,
for
a man gets ripped to pieces by crocodiles.
Oh yeah, this is like the inspiration for like Mortal Kombat. You know, all these people are like, oh, this is a great idea. We could make a fighting game out of this.
Oh yeah. So there wasn't a rating system
they
before.
Monkey brains as well. Oh, there was a rating system. It was just the fact that PG just meant like as long as you went with a parent,
right?
You'd be fine. But PG-13 meant you have to be 13 years with a parent.
Right. So the previous film was Gremlins, I believe. So Temple of Doom and Gremlins caused this controversy, and he recommended like PG-13, PG-14, PG-2, or R-13, which would limit or allow certain audience members admittance between PG and R-rated films. Okay, cool. Okay, so Valenti soon enacted the new system labeling director John Milius's film Red Dawn with the first ever PG-13 rating. Okay, so it was because of Spielberg that these things got rated.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Spielberg made Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade to apologize for Temple of Doom, and the way this sort of translates is that not as many people liked Temple of Doom. It wasn't the same formula as the original, so they wanted to go back
darker.
to it.
Much darker.
Oh yeah, they had a cult from India. They had all these sacrificial, ritualistic suicides, or whatever you want to call murdering.
Child slavery.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's perfectly fine. They're just Disney employees now. That's what we class them as.
And they rehired John Rhys Davies, which is one of my favorite actors. He's fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah. Last Crusade does definitely feel like a plays Gimli in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Last Crusade does definitely feel like more of a direct sequel to Raiders than but even.
Yeah.
You definitely tell that those two are the same sort of like formula in film.
Oh yeah. Here's number 8.
Both those and just lead into it. Yeah.
A renowned playwright secretly penned the Indy Henry material. He's referring to Sean Connery. Celebrated playwright Tom Stoppard contributed with the bulk of the Jones's Boy material, but didn't receive a writing credit. Okay, so you didn't want to be This is what happens with some great writers or big writers. They don't want to be like known for like doing 2-bit parts or thinking that this is not going to be very good for my career if I get known to be writing pulpy movies.
Yeah. Oh no, my career. I don't want Indiana Jones to be on that.
Oh, if it was Crystal Skull, man.
Oh, yeah, I see. There you go.
That would be a legitimate reason.
That would be, yeah, exactly. You don't know. Ford and Connery took off their pants while shooting one scene. Huh. Excessive heat on the set prompted Connery to remove his slacks while shooting the scene, and Ford followed suit. Okay, cool. Oh, boy.
I think that's the scene in where they're tied to the chair in the burning.
On the Zeppelin, yeah.
Yeah, burning building, yeah. So whenever you see that, just remember that Sean Connery and Harrison Ford are practically naked from the waist down.
I don't know what this is, but the movie helped to pioneer the Rat Insurgents game. I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know what that means.
The rat-filled subterranean sequence early in the film proved to be a complex problem. The presence of the rodents cost the film its first choice of female leads, Amanda Redman, as she was too afraid to perform along the critics. Then the production team had to breed its own gray rats, thousands of them, in order to have enough rodent firepower that was definitely disease-free.
Rodent firepower.
Finally, there was the unprecedented matter of taking out an insurance policy on the unpredictable creatures. So after some negotiation, the Fireman's Fund insurance company did indeed grant Paramount Pictures the very first 1,000-rat insurance policy, which would have paid off if the production had lost more than 1,000 of its rodents. Okay, so if you want to put rats or whatever kind of rodents on your set, you have to have insurance. And they said, okay, well, this is the first time we're doing this, so you have to...
I assume that just have animal insurance anyway. Wouldn't it just be covered under animals?
Well, they never had it. That's why they had to invent it. Oh, boy. The death of Walter Donovan...
In the 80s? In the 80s, they still had no insurance for animals. How many flipping movies have they made? You're trying to tell me all those horses were just two guys in a suit?
There was
Western.
There was a problem. I'm sure there was a problem with having animals on movies and being able to keep them healthy. And you know, there's always the end of films now. No animals were harmed during the filming of this film. So there's all these warnings and all these. Like they have to make sure they have all these standards in place. So makes sense. I don't know who Walter Donovan was, but a benchmark in digital effects. Awesome. Oh, that was. Remember the Nazi melts in the first film?
Yeah, Raiders, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's how I imagine all the SJWs act when Trump used to tweet.
So this was filmed...
That scene just burned into my brain because I saw it first when I was like 4 years old. My dad had the brilliant idea of going through like all Spielberg and Lucasfilms.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Hey, look, it's Star Wars. It's a great movie. Let's watch Indiana Jones now. Okay. Temple of Doom starts.
Let's watch Indiana Jones.
No, I fucking loved it.
Oh, yeah, it's great, yeah.
Here's The Last Crusade did wonders for Petra's tourist draw. Really? Huh.
Oh, yeah. That's, yeah. That happened also with one of the Sinbad movies after they used it.
Cool.
It created an interest, and then obviously Indiana Jones really like cemented it as actual like a proper tourist destination.
Mr. LeBeouf wasn't a fan of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Don't worry, neither are the rest of us.
It was shit. They use a snake as a rope to pull Indy out of quicksand.
This is here's Ford. That his young co-star was an effing idiot. As an actor, I think it's my obligation to support the film without making a complete ass of myself. Oh, boy.
Well, good old Ford.
Sean Connery said no to a cameo in The Crystal Skull. No kidding.
Wow. Well, because he'd retired from acting at that point as well.
Well, maybe he read the script and went, "No, it's not a good idea."
Well, come on. He'd appeared in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That's
dear.
Stop you wanting to act in anything ever again.
And number
he only
15.
took that role because he turned down Gandalf.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In Lord of the Rings. Yeah, he said, I'll do this. If it turned out to be crap, he went, "Yeah, I'm retiring from acting."
And
thank God.
Yeah, well.
I don't want... Listen. Lord of the Rings is perfect the way it is. I don't want Sean Connery Gandalf. I want Ian... I almost said Ian McGregor.
Well, I don't know how to break this to you, but you don't have to worry about Sean Connery starring in anything to do with Lord of the Rings anymore.
Here is finally number 15. The Crystal Skull inspired an alternate phrase to jump the shark. And if you don't know the scene, it's infamous.
Nuke the bridge.
It's... Here it is. What people really jumped at was Indy climbing into a refrigerator and getting blown into the sky by an atom bomb blast. Blame me, don't blame George. That was my silly idea. People stopped saying jump the shark. They now say nuked the fridge. I'm proud of that. I'm glad I was able to bring that into popular culture. Now, usually when you do something bad, you don't want to be known for it. But I guess Spielberg just takes whatever he can get. I don't know.
Yeah. I love how people try and
Spielberg can take that
look,
hit, though.
It says, look, the fridge says lead line, so obviously he survived the nuclear blast. I'm like, not from that. No, doesn't matter how much lead you got. No, that's on top of him.
Yeah, it's just lead made of. Yeah, we always make fridges out of lead. That happened back in the day. Yeah, of course.
Lead is a fancy word for adamantium.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get going. We got 12 minutes to go through this thing. It's a positive video. He's talking about the good things.
Good.
So we're not gonna lose any brain cells. Let's just say.
I mean, we'll see.
Right.
He's defending the bad.
He'll get there.
Yeah. So it's going to be Temple of Doom and then Crystal Skull.
I don't.
Squarespace. That's a popular guy. I have seen him before.
Very nice. Yes. Oh God.
Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video.
Message coming in.
Okay.
Patching it through.
The Indiana Jones movies have sort of a weird reputation. Raiders of the Lost Ark is thought of as one of the greatest films ever made.
Who does he remind me of with his soft voice? Who is this guy?
Every video essayist ever.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Just right.
Just right comes to mind. Yeah. Here's Mike Testa. Hey Mike, look at the video "How Robots" 2003 rejects gender and capitalism with Wisp. You'll see why. Don't give Wisp ideas. He's already inundated with multiple videos that'll drive him up the wall. So let's keep his sanity as much as intact as possible.
Yeah, we've only got so much of Wisp, so let's not. We can't run out of it.
Gotta let him recharge.
Like a stable dosage.
Yeah, let him recharge once in a while.
Note to video essayists, by the way, when you talk into your microphone, speak loudly and clearly. Like talk with your chest. Just think Kevin Hart, talk with your chest.
Mm-hmm.
I promise when I do my fucking reviews, eventually, in about 15 years when I finally decide to make one, I'm not going to be doing this soft ass voice. I cannot stand it. Speak clearly and with authority. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You want your radio announcer voice. But not here. Here I'm fucking sipping on whiskey and Coke, so. We'll be slurring here shortly.
Okay.
Last Crusade is often thought of in much a similar way, with many fans even preferring it to Raiders. But whether you're looking at the critics or the die-hard fans, Temple of Doom and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull are usually ranked as the lowest in the franchise, with some refusing to even acknowledge their existence. Now, I'm not going to pretend that these movies are...
Do people pretend Temple of Doom doesn't exist? Is that like a
like it's like rated as the lowest of the trilogy, but it's really not that bad from the other two.
I don't remember it being that bad.
Yeah.
All I know is most people who complain about it, they say it's not Raiders. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of films that aren't Raiders.
I mean,
most films in the world aren't Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I mean, we'd already discussed it, but it's certainly darker.
It's a dark second part of the series, which most things do. It's just the fact that it's a prequel, not a direct sequel. So.
Oh well.
Also, when you defend Indiana Jones, don't show the actual fridge scene. It's the first bit of.
It's like, yay!
I'm going to defend these movies. Shows the worst thing ever. It's like, you're already.
Here's the thing.
Here's the worst thing ever.
I don't know, which scene is the worst. The fridge, the scenes from the jungle, or the climax of the movie, because
the fridge is the first. The fridge is the worst one because it literally destroys everything about the movie. Because we've just got over the fact that they've been on that not that train him and that Russian had just fought on that machine on that track, which goes at like supersonic speeds, and they were both sat down in Crystal Skull to escape the base just before this scene.
The warehouse,
At the warehouse, they've got that machine on track, and like both him and this Russian get sent like at supersonic speeds, and they both stumble off after they finished it, and Indiana Jones stumbles into this town, which is where it gets blown up. So already, this is like the culmination of like a scene that makes no sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is why I
remember that
think
now.
it's the worst, because it's like, wow, this has just gone from it
went from contrived to what the fuck.
Yeah. I just went like anything can happen now, as in like there's no stakes. Indiana Jones can survive anything.
And then they add aliens to Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and it's like yeah, okay, fine, whatever.
It's like,
sure.
all right. Well, yeah, they also had the warehouse where they kept the Ark.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't need to. You didn't need that. You could have just.
Oh yeah, because the box gets broken, the Ark shows. Cool, thanks. Thank you for reminding me of that movie.
It's like you didn't need to go back to the warehouse. You could have had almost anything really, except going back to that warehouse. And what did you do? You made it really cheap. Also, the magnetism doesn't really work in that scene.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
It's not very consistent, so it's like bad from the start. It's like TLJ. It's just bad all the way through.
Yep.
And the magnetism is kind of weird. Whenever that skull starts activating, you're like, what the hell is going on?
Well, yeah, they take some, what does he take? Some gunpowder, and he scatters it to the air, and he's tracking it, and then...
follow the dust thing, and you're like, no.
Like, oh, well, I mean, okay, I guess that's how that works, I guess, but then nothing else seems to be affected until it matters to the plot.
Yeah, like guns are not affected until they get close to it, as in like, the guns start bending towards the skull and stuff. You're like, it should have been doing that a lot earlier.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, because it's not in a wood box anymore.
Yeah.
Now the magnetism is that much more intense. It's like, okay, and then that just never comes up again.
Mm-hmm.
That whole magnetism just never comes up again.
Yeah, this is why I class the fridge scene as like the worst scene, because it's just a culmination of like. Really
all of that leads to nuking a fridge. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Well,
so
we can
the jungle scene is just like, yeah, okay, whatever, fine.
That point, you're already dead from a gunshot wound to your head. So.
Yeah.
I think the swinging through the vines with the monkeys on the cars or the trucks was just...
Smud, I thought you were going to go somewhere where you're already swinging from your noose by the time you get to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
That was like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Their flaws, but they're both largely great entries into the Indiana Jones canon that don't deserve nearly as much hate as they tend to get. Particularly Temple of Doom, which I think is every bit as good as Raiders or The Last Crusade. One of the main things that people seem to forget about the franchise is that they were always designed as B-movies. They weren't trying to create something on par with Cecil B. DeMille or David Lean. They were trying to match...
That's not an excuse.
What?
Yeah, that's not an excuse, no. Just because it's a B movie doesn't mean you can just give up and not try.
You don't get to...
I have my doubts that Lucas and Spielberg just sat down and said well, we're gonna make a movie.
Are you...
we only want to make $20 million.
Just make
is he mistaken pulp,
break the bank.
Like a pulp adventure series with B movie?
All right. Bad argument to start off on. Just because it's a B movie doesn't mean you get a pass. Not by objective standards. Subjectively, I enjoy the Expendables. Objectively, they're not all that great.
But that's not a B movie. This is what always annoys me. B movies are not bloody Indiana Jones or Expendables or stuff like that. B movies are literally Attack of a 50-foot giant ant, Squadge monster from the Squiggle.
Well, I don't even know what he would classify as a B movie. If you're going to bring up terms,
that's what B movie. Yeah, but that's what B movies are. The sort of movie that you wouldn't get into. B movies are what the term B movie comes from, because in theaters and cinemas in the 50s, you used to have your A film, your A feature, and your B feature. Now your A feature was, like in the 50s it'd be your John Wayne movie, or like your Charlton Heston, the big thing. And then the B movie would be something like like Them or Creature from the Black Lagoon. It'd be the movie they put on afterwards when most people had gone, and it was usually just horny teenagers and people who were just like skulking off school and stuff watching it.
Yeah, rebellion.
So that's what B movie comes from. And now people use B movie just to explain anything that's not like a triple A movie. And it's like, no, that's not what a B movie is.
Anything that isn't Transformers: Dark Side of the Moon. Dark of the Moon.
Yeah,
whatever the fuck the title is.
Anything's not like a summer blockbuster or like a like really high end art. We go, it's a B movie. It's like, no. It's just a normal movie. B movies are literally people. You're crappy like on the Sci-Fi Channel. You'll see tons of them.
Lava Angela. If James Moore was here, he would know. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah. So no, Indiana Jones is not a B movie. Sorry, not anywhere near a B movie. They have competent actors.
Right. So that's what you define as a B movie.
Yes.
So when he brings up a term like this, such as B movie or blah 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 blah, he needs to qualify it and just be like, be like a B movie like X, Y, and Z, and it's like, okay, now I have an idea what you're saying. But he's talking about an A movie, like I don't know.
The Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston. It's like, okay, that's an epic. So you're saying that? So
never seen it.
That's different from a B movie because it's an old-fashioned epic like
Ben-Hur.
Ben-Hur and stuff like that, and Spartacus. So by that standards, Jurassic Park would be classed as a B movie.
I think they would tie themselves into the pulps or comic book stories of the time with simply a big budget to facilitate the adventure that these people were going on. Whereas B movies, they tried to do that, but didn't have the resources, the skill.
Yeah, it's like Ed Wood.
It's along those lines. Like they have a bad idea, and they think it's going to be great if they just put enough effort. It's like no. You need a lot more talent. You need a lot more resources to put this thing together to do special effects.
No. You need talent to make this work.
You do.
Yeah. Well, it's why the best. What's always voted probably the best B movie, Them with a giant ant, is because they put a hell of a lot of effort into the not only animatronics for a 1954 movie, but as in like they did the whole thing of not showing the monster, which is something that Steven Spielberg actually took inspiration from with Jaws, of not showing it because the first half of the movie you don't see the ants killing people, you just see what's left. So, like you said, talent. You can make a B movie with a low budget, but if you've got talent, you can really make it work. So but I just don't believe that Indiana Jones is a B movie.
Well, what ends up happening is you have a film that has one high quality element and the rest are sort of not as high. So you always say, well, this person, like let's say Adam Driver, he's holding up the film because of his acting skills and what he's doing and his role in the film. Whereas everything else around that character is just sort of in the way or just not doing enough to facilitate their need to be in the story. So it's that kind of effect with these B films where it's just like, oh, it's just not worth watching unless this one element is there. So that's what I think of.
You watch a lot of B movies for the unironic laughter that you get from.
I guess some of them
that's
are bad to watch.
That's why I watch.
Unironic? Unironic?
Well, I don't know if you guys ever watch Best of the Worst on Red Letter Media, but they do
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
so many bad films,
Yeah,
and there's nothing. There's nothing
Yeah.
in them that's worthwhile. They're just crap, and
Yeah.
they sit there and they say, "This
You
is."
just laugh because it's just so crap.
Sometimes they can't even. They're just so dead, and you just watch them. And you're like, "Oh, this is so worthless to put together." And the guys have nothing to say. They have nothing good to say. They just don't want to talk about it. They're just like, "This is the worst experience we ever had in our lives." Like, it was so boring.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You get experiences
Well,
like that.
that's what B movies. That's what the vast majority of B movies are. There's a few good B movies that become like cult classics, but most of those are usually the 50s B movies.
Oh yeah, like look
a
at
few ones from
look
the
at
80s.
Masters of the Universe with what's his face.
Oh yeah,
Like it's so corny. It's so
Is it?
you know it's cheap.
yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Evil Dead.
Yeah,
Evil Dead, yeah.
because of the performance, because of the simplicity. They actually did pretty decent special effects. The one-liners, like they know what they're doing, and they're going to.
God, I love Bruce Campbell.
And they're going to cater to those audiences who love his stuff. So that's where you're like, okay, we know what we're doing. We're not spending too much money, and we're going to see if this works out. If it does, we'll make a sequel. And I think they did. I can't recall.
Well, they made 2 sequels.
Oh yeah,
Bruce Campbell is a god.
An Army of Darkness.
right.
Samurai Cop.
And now, now they're doing what? There's an HBO show or something about Evil Dead.
And
Oh, boy.
there was a remake, and the remake got a sequel.
The
Really,
remake got a sequel.
The
I watched
remake.
the remake and it was atrocious.
that was horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they get a sequel, or am I just?
I don't
my
think it
brain
got a
just
sequel. If it got about to have an
completely
aneurysm.
melt? Yeah, my brain just like go like, oh, I guess you got a tumor now. So just imagine a sequel to this.
I'm a tumor. No, okay.
All right.
Yes,
That's what goes through my head every time I hear the word tumor.
yes, I know. Same.
All right, cool.
The style of the 1930s Saturday morning serials, complete with over-the-top action, campy dialogue, and the cliche villains.
But it's not really campy.
They had no idea how acclaimed or influential Raiders would go on to become, inspiring a new mold of action hero with humor and vulnerability that stood in stark contrast to other action heroes of the 1980s. Or that this cheesy...
Okay, so
Bruce Willis standing with his shirt off is exactly the same as Indiana Jones standing with his shirt off.
sitting with his shirt off and taking his shirt off.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
so
sorry.
this
Do
is
we have a confirmation that it's inspired by Indy?
yeah, this is kind of shit, and his visuals aren't backing up his point. So yeah, no fucking shit. They weren't trying to create a legacy. They were trying to create a movie.
Mhm.
They wanted to tell a story, and they wanted to make money, and they made a movie. They weren't trying to.
Back in the day, they wanted to make a movie, not a cinematic universe.
Damn
Yeah.
right.
Oh my god. No, shut up. I don't want to think about what an Indiana Jones cinematic universe looks like.
God, this is almost as bad as that time in ancient Egypt with that
Well,
with that guy and his wife and kid, and it's like setting up the sequel.
when you
in
introduce
Indiana Jones versus the Mummy.
oh jeez, when you introduce an element like the son of the main character, or an offspring, or that's not like a cousin, like they did with well, I was going to say Crystal Skull, but more or less with his father. It's like that's a family member that you can talk about his history a bit better. So you want some backstory.
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting idea. When you have a son or a daughter, it's like, I just didn't know you existed. It's like, oh, really? Okay. That's not
Message coming
really
in.
great parenting skills for a
Patch
hero.
it through.
That could
Yeah.
work. That could work with certain characters, but you have to be really careful how that plays out.
Yeah, it's also incredibly cliche of the missing child. It's like,
Mm-hmm. I am your father. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Also, what's her name? What's the female's name? Marianne or something?
yeah.
Yeah, she's a bad person. She didn't tell the
Yes.
father of her child that, hey, you're a father.
Yeah, and she didn't tell her child who his father was.
Yeah, you're a bad person.
Yeah, but she's a woman, so she's allowed to do that. So it's okay.
Oh no, she's a mom. She has all the rights to the kid.
She has all the rights.
To the kid. Yeah. Mom get kid.
Mhm.
Mom on drugs, kid. Mom murders dad, kid. Believe it or not.
Mom on mom, kid.
Kid. Believe it or not, kid.
Mhm.
No, I just rewatched that Parks and Rec scene today. You drive too slow, jail. You drive too fast, jail. Undercooked fish, believe it or not, jail.
Parks and Rec's great.
Yeah. Man,
But,
it's fun thinking about better things than this fucking video.
It's not that bad, Zach. Jeez.
Oh my god, Zach, calm down.
What? It's better. Am I wrong?
Well, no, but
Alright, cool. Go off my ass. Mom,
Here's
dad.
here's
I don't know
Joe,
which one of you is the mom and dad.
here's Joe Crazy. Ash versus Evil Dead is underrated. Wish they bring it back. It was left on a cliffhanger. What the hell?
Ooh.
yeah, but that's sort of something that would be good for the Evil Dead. Is it like?
Is that the new one? The Ash versus the Evil Dead?
Is the series? Yeah.
Okay, so it is that. Okay, so it's that. Yeah. Cool.
I'm trying to remember it. Honestly, don't.
Damn it! It was always on my watch list.
Is that where
It was
he's?
on my to-do list of yeah, you need to go watch this.
Is that where he's back at the store and he's fighting again? He has his uniform on. And he still has his chain gun, or sorry, his chainsaw arm.
Yeah.
It's not that ending.
Chainsaw arm.
Okay.
No, that's the ending for Army of Dark.
Okay, so it is the new show, Ash
Yeah.
versus the Evil Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys ever? I love Bruce Campbell and pretty much anything he does. You guys ever watch Burn Notice?
I haven't seen it.
Bits of it, but it wasn't really.
It's
Something I got in.
it's not that great, but yeah, I definitely watched through the entire series, and there's
Just
a
for
lot of
Bruce
tism. There's a lot of tism. Bruce Campbell carries the show. I believe the main actor's name is the same as the main character's name, Michael Weston. But it's a good show. It's fun.
The form of escape entertainment would one day completely dominate the box office. They just wanted to make a tribute to the fun action movies of their youth, but with a technical prowess yet unseen in the genre. And it did the trick. General audiences in 1981 had never seen anything like it before. It became the highest grossing film of that year and even earned 8 Academy Award nominations, taking home 4 wins as well as 1 additional Special Achievement Award for its sound design. All in all, not bad for a B-movie.
Ooh.
The same could not
Not
be said
B-movie.
for Temple of Doom, however. It still turned a considerable profit and still took home an Oscar for visual effects, but critics and fans alike felt that it didn't live up to the hype. Where was Marion, or Sala, or Marcus? Why was it all so dark and violent? And what was with all of the racial stereotyping? First off, I'm honestly...
So-
Child.
So the idea
I just love it.
of Indiana Jones traveling the world and going to different countries and meeting all these people for very brief moments, you're going to need some stereotypes, okay? You can't just show random dirty villages and just expect people to go, oh yeah, that's just, Africa or India or whatever.
Just see some like burnt out rubble, and people go, "Oh my god, it's Detroit." And it's like, no, it's India.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Iraq.
No. Detroit's a lot worse than Iraq.
Is it?
Well, yeah, at least in Iraq they can speak, English.
Mm.
So the scene...
Also, the reason why Temple of Doom didn't have all the characters from Raiders of the Lost Ark is because it's a prequel. It's set before. They even say that quite clearly.
Yeah. So this yeah, that's
So that
funny.
argument. So what you're trying to tell me is that critics in 1984 were fucking idiots who can't read.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if he just said this is a prequel, well, where's all the characters from the original? This is a prequel. Yeah, but like, what happens after Raiders? This is a prequel. This takes place before. Yeah, so why isn't it
just
showing
you're
things
shaking
after?
like Roger Ebert, screaming in his
Yeah.
face, prequel!
It's a prequel, you fucking cunt!
Prequel!
It literally says. I'm pretty sure the film opens like Singapore 1934, which literally tells you it's a year before Raiders. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't understand that criticism, which
Well,
it's like, all right.
I remember the actual scene with the dinner, and they're all like Indiana Jones is there to get some information, and he brought his
monkey brain.
Yeah, the monkey brains. Like everyone just faints. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's great." Like that sort of scene. Is memorable.
Oh, God. Yeah, but also it's not stereotypes. It's the fact that they're part of like a cult. It's like an area like off the grid. So that's not what India's like. It's meant to be a weird place.
I didn't like the female actress in this movie.
I don't think many people did.
No, all she did was scream.
Scream, yeah.
That's all I remember.
Indy! Oh, I broke a nail. Oh,
Say, shut the fuck up, please. In that sense, I can get the where the fuck is Marion? like,
yeah, I can understand that.
Can we
get
Marion back, please? Please, for the love of God. Oh God.
Yeah.
And then they still didn't for the third movie, which was cool.
You got
sauerkraut,
sex crazed woman.
Oh yeah, you got the spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
Who also sleeps with Sean Connery. It's like, okay, well, he wouldn't, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, that just pissed me off. I was like, man,
No, not anymore.
Well, not anymore. Well, you never know. Somebody for the morgue's a bit weird. So.
Is he still warm?
Hulk, you're very desperate.
Hey, it's been a long lockdown.
This much.
But
can we stop talking about necrophiliizing Sean Connery's fucking corpse?
Does this constitute pornea?
Yes.
It does.
Wow, 2 pornea references on the Smudcast in 2 days.
It's on the brain now.
You know, of all the films to watch,
so
the one video we don't have any talk about sex. You guys got to bring it up. It's like, okay, great.
Yeah,
they did.
No, but get back on track. So yeah, the arguments about this film are literally it's not Raiders, and I'm still waiting for. I mean, yeah, okay, you've got the Willie. It's like character. Yeah, she's bad. I'll give you that. That's great. That's one. What's the next argument? It's not Raiders. That's not an argument for if a movie's good or not.
Well, he started out by saying, he started out by saying like they weren't setting out to create a legacy. It's like, yeah, nobody fucking does, dude. If you are setting out to create a legacy, that's not like you're probably not going to succeed.
No.
But whatever.
I think we can carry on. Yeah.
Can we?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
By
Can
how
you?
many people seem to miss the fact that Temple of Doom is a prequel?
35.
George
No,
Lucas explained the
1935.
reason
Sorry,
being
I
that
got
they
the
didn't want to use the Nazis again, and they wanted to follow a similar formula as Bond with a different leading lady in every picture. So setting the film before Raiders took care of all of that, and allowed it to become its own entry in the adventures of Indiana Jones, which was always the intention for the franchise. It wasn't like Star Wars with a grand overarching narrative, it was supposed to feel feel like the weekly serials of the 1930s, with our hero going on many different adventures. As far as it being too dark or too violent, that's actually one of my favorite things about Temple of Doom. I think it's such a bold choice that makes this chapter feel completely unique to the other films in the series, and something you would never expect from a franchise like this today. In a world where every sequel tries to capitalize on the success of the first film by falling into fan service, I think it's great that they took such a unique direction for the film. It does get dark with black magic and child slavery and ritual sacrifice, but that only creates a more triumphant final act. And frankly, the final 40 minutes or so of Temple of Doom are arguably the best in the franchise. The liberation of the slaves, the conveyor belt fight with the voodoo doll, the minecart chase sequence,
yeah, it's
the rope
great.
Bridge, pure Indiana Jones action.
Oh yeah, that rope bridge scene. The rope bridge scene is like one of my favorite scenes in movie history. Like just the amount of tension and just the fuck it, I got this. It's a desperate act of Indy, and he barely makes it out alive. So
yeah.
So,
but yeah, good. I agree with what he's saying with the defendant. Yeah, that was the idea. It wasn't an overarching plot. It's like, okay.
Yeah. So far, I agree with what he's saying.
I think I'm going to be disagreeing with the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull a lot more than the Temple of Doom, because I like Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I think most of us did enjoy. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, but it was entertaining. All those scenes, like the physics behind the Minecraft, whatever you call the minecart.
Yeah, the minecart. Yeah, that's very insane, but it's a
video game logic.
Really good fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
What now? What? Sorry.
It's really fun. The minecart chase
in
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
The final act.
It's nuts.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about something else.
Mein Kampf. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some of that in the movie.
I mean,
but they did say they weren't going to use Nazis in this movie, so I'm sorry, Zach. I have to take your Nazi card away for you for 5 seconds.
I wasn't thinking about Nazis. I was thinking about a cookie, and I'm not even kidding.
And all of a sudden, Zach is a Nazi.
I don't know. Glib, what do you think?
What do you mean? What do you mean, what do I think?
I was really hoping you'd still be gone, and I'd just get silence, and that'd be the joke. Anyway.
A terrible joke.
You're a terrible joke.
I am. It's not funny.
It's not funny.
Well, Glib's here. How's it going?
Well, it's a terrible joke, and you're laughing.
I'm good. I'm waiting really for I don't think that any of the Indiana Jones movies are bad until Crystal Skull. The only thing that I really don't like about I don't really want to watch Temple of Doom very often, but I don't mind any of the characters really. I understand what is going on there. What I don't like is them jumping out of the thing and then they fall with the fucking raft and everybody's just
the inflatable raft.
Everything's just fine. I hated that. But a lot of the movie I just thought was like, it's good. I get it. It's not the best of... Figuring out what the best Indiana Jones movie is, either Raiders or Last Crusade, because it's, which one do you want more? Do you want the original, all of the iconography, or do you want the one where Sean Connery was in it and he was palling around with Harrison, which is some of the best shit ever. But I don't think it's as good as a movie. But at the same time, the ending is much more interesting. So it's like, it's the exact same feeling I get when I'm thinking about the Dollars trilogy, when I'm thinking about the second and third one. Which one do you like more? Do you like For a Few Dollars More? Do you like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? Well, they're two completely different movies, but they both have things that you like about them. And then the other one is still good, but it's not, it's not the best.
Well, A Few Dollars More gave me my catchphrase.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
You already fucked it up. It's anyways, go fuck yourself.
I don't care. But because it's like the same thing. Do you want the one where Clint and Lee Van Cleef team up and kill people, or do you want the one where it's Clint and Lee against each other? Because and it's also like the ending. The ending's better of Good, the Bad, the Ugly than it is for A Few Dollars More. But,
Lee Van Cleef is so fucking good in that movie.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
It's all good stuff. Very good cowboy movies. Very good. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she does in the entire film. She screams and runs away.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yes.
Great
Yeah,
performance.
it's wonderful.
Yeah. If
Female empowerment.
Spielberg just said, yeah, just scream, I guess. I don't fucking know. On my face, I got Harrison Ford to work with.
The Scream Queen, isn't it?
I guess.
From the 30s and 40s. Bit of stuff. Like, what's her name? Fay Wray from King Kong made that the start of it.
Sorry?
So all we do is look pretty. Fay Wray from the original King Kong movie.
Never seen
Get out.
it. Why? Why? Tell me why I should see it.
Why? It's a good movie. Good little adventure.
Monkey.
Yeah. It tells the history of slavery or something.
No. At all. It's just a really good adventure movie. Anyway, no, but she started off just a pretty face and Scream, and throughout that era, that's what most women characters were in these sort of things. They're pretty face that screams. So to get that feel, they hired a pretty face who screams all the time. So, yeah.
I do like how the machete just kind of bounces off the rope. Like he's just whacking it. It's not actually cutting through the rope.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I can see.
Anyways,
how
go
people
fuck
would be
yourselves.
Irritated by Willie Scott, but frankly, can you imagine being in her shoes? This pampered club singer is all of a sudden taken to the jungles of India with every sort of creepy, crawly, slithering creature you could imagine. I think
but she screams.
So this was actually a point I was about.
Single one.
This was actually a point I was about to say. Of I get why she screams. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand, trust me. But shut the fuck up. It's just one of those things, it's like, listen, it's not okay to hit a woman unless it's like that's actually one of the things they teach you in the army, like in basic training. It's one of the things they teach you during movement drills and like during room clearings and stuff. If somebody is in shock, you do what you need to do to snap them out of it and get them back into the fight. It's just like you slap them in the face, you do the knuckle rub on the sternum rub. That's what it is. Like you do anything you can to just snap them out of it, get a response out of them, and just like, all right, hey, focus up, just stay in the fight for like 5 more minutes.
All I can imagine in the army now is that scene from Airplane where they're queuing up to whack that woman.
Oh, yeah.
Quit being hysterical.
Somebody hysterical. Doctor's a phone call for you.
We'd all be terrified and uncomfortable having to go through what she does. But I can see how some wish it was toned down at least just a little bit for the audience's sake, but the hate for Short Round never made any sense to me. He's a great sidekick.
Great guy. Great actor. Fantastic stuff.
Also,
I thought it was great.
Indiana Jones backhands him in one scene, and it's amazing.
Well, yeah, that was part of an act, though. Wasn't it?
Don't ruin my headcanon, Zach. Don't ruin
All
my
right.
headcanon.
Listen, I understand you want to beat children, but
I want to beat everybody.
all right, wait. Have you seen that? You've seen the video of the guy at like some birthday party and goes around slapping everybody, right?
Slapping everyone. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And that's you, but like in a daycare.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I don't understand why. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a kid, and I can get why people get annoyed at child actors and stuff. But he's actually not that bad.
No, he's endearing. He's like he's actually
he
nice.
drives a car with big shoes.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
Block is
nice.
attached
He's
to his-
clever. He's squirrely.
His name Dr. Jones.
Yeah, and he has a great respect for Dr. Jones.
Hmm. I just can't believe in between the two movies he obviously died off screen.
Well,
That's a shame.
You guys do know that he was also the dude who says slick shoes in the Goonies.
I've never seen
Yes.
The Goonies.
You've never seen the Goonies?
Yeah. Goonies. Yeah, he was the guy who's got all the gadgets.
Yeah. I always get them confused. In which movie is he in? Is it the same actor doing almost the same role?
Yeah. Hmm.
Man, Goonies was just one of those movies I missed. I have a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of Disney shows that I missed, like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Never seen it.
Zach, no.
Sorry.
No, don't watch that one. Watch Goonies first.
That's just an example. Yeah, a lot of stuff I just kind of miss.
Goonies first. Disney shows when you're in your 80s on your deathbed.
Yeah, I'm sure it's good. I've heard nothing but good things.
No, Goonies is great.
I know.
God, is it Josh Brolin who's in it?
I know the troll guy that's in there.
Hmm?
The ugly guy wears a Superman shirt.
Oh yeah. Sloth. No, not Sloth.
Oh, yeah.
Sloth. Yeah, Sloth isn't.
Hey, you guys!
Mhm.
I know that.
But yeah. So yeah, this actor, yeah, the same thing. But that's the only two things I've ever seen him in. I've never seen him in anything else.
Oh, who played? I'm gonna Google this. Who played Short Round? Jonathan K. Kwan.
Was he in the first Gremlins with the shot?
Yeah. So he was. So he was in. Oh no! Hold on. Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Goonies. It Takes a Thief, Passenger, Cousin Dave Stole a Cookie, Breathing Fire, Encino Man, Red Pirate, Second Time Around, Finding Omaha, and to be announced, Everything Everywhere All at Once. To be announced post-production. Interesting.
Well, I guess he's not going to be a small Asian child on that. I guess that's when he's an adult. So.
Oh, he was on a few TV shows. He was in 19 episodes of the 1986 show Together We Stand.
Mm-hmm.
Main cast seasons 4 through 5 of Head of the Class. He was on an episode of Tales from the Crypt in 1991.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, yeah. That's just what I remember him from those two films.
Yeah.
Honestly, cannot recall him from anywhere else. But hey,
Nope.
movie history there for me. So.
Oh, he actually something interesting. Fun fact: Kwan was born in Saigon, South Vietnam, present-day Ho Chi Minh City. To Vietnamese parents of Chinese descent, he was forced to leave his country when the Army of the Republic of Vietnam was defeated during the fall of Saigon. His family was selected for political asylum and immigrated to the United States as refugees.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he's had a decent life.
Cool, but you have to leave your country. But
It's a fun fact. Yeah. So to summarize, he's had a good life. There you go.
good for him.
All right, let's keep going.
Always has in back. He can hold his own in a fight, and he can be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
He can.
One of the biggest criticisms of the film was its offensive portrayal of Indians, but I always thought that was an unfair criticism. The whole point is that this is a cult that has taken over the Indian royalty.
Yeah,
The
so
Maharaja
this is
of Bangkok
specifically
is
representative
brainwashed,
of a
just like
cult.
most of his other followers, and even Indiana Jones himself at one point. The whole reason Indy is there in the first place is to help to retrieve the same cornerstones that were stolen from...
By the way, because in 1935, India was still under the rule of Britain.
Britain would never have allowed a cult to exist.
Yeah, so it wouldn't really matter. Oh, they're taking over the Indian royal family. No, it doesn't matter. There is no Indian royal family.
Just they're taking over the Indian royal family. Oh no! Anyway.
Anyway, I'm going to talk to the British Raj, which is the councillor who runs the whole country. The British guy who runs it and only answers to the king or queen of Britain. So you lot take over that Indian royal family.
I want that
Do what
jacket.
you want with it.
Indy's got a sweet jacket.
Oh yeah. Jacket. But
Look at that thing. Look at that faded leather. It's like nice and fitted. It's got a collar.
Mhm.
I want it.
He's also got a hat as well, which is
He's
nice
he's got a hat.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. So this whole thing saying no, it's I always took it as where they landed was like this really remote part of India. It's like cut off. And like it's not like the Indian royalty stuff, but that's just how I took it. Because if not, then why isn't Britain doing something about this?
Sorry.
Why isn't the British government involved? This does not make sense.
No, I just read something in the chat. FBI opened up, said Zach gonna be looking at his sweet wife on his deathbed. Holy shit!
But yeah, if anyone knows about like British India, a lot of shit did not get allowed. As in, like, we didn't like cult. Don't know how to tell you this. Just putting it out there. So
All right,
we
fine.
can continue.
Yeah.
A local village to rescue the children who were taken prisoner, meaning that this black magic cult isn't supposed to represent the whole of the country, but a small, corrupted minority. You can
Correct.
definitely argue that it falls into the whole white savior trope, but this is Indiana Jones we're talking about, and if you don't have a problem with him saving the day from the Nazis, I don't think it should be a problem for him to save the day from cultist Hindus either.
This is stretching the trope, if that were the idea, because usually we see that with the actual period pieces of women or men that are living in a contemporary setting, and you have the black was the holy, but not the holy black man. What's the magical?
The
Negro?
magic black man.
The magical
magical
Negro.
Negro. There you go.
The magical Negro. Yeah.
And it's usually a story about equality or a lore aspect of what was happening during that time and what's good and bad. So I wouldn't even go this far with using that trope. I guess you could with Indiana Jones, just because he's the educated archaeologist fellow who teaches in did he teach in Cambridge? Where did he teach? It was in America, right? So
yeah, it's like Harvard.
Not Harvard. It's not Harvard.
I don't know. I'm just saying, but that's what it would be. As in, like,
Yeah, somewhere prestigious. There we go.
Yeah.
But
But the thing is, Indiana Jones doesn't go out originally to save children with stuff. It's only when he gets told about the artifacts that he gets interested in doing anything.
He wants shiny stone, shiny rock.
More than children. Yeah.
Artifacts are worth more than children.
Yes.
You're not. I don't. Okay, so
how am I wrong?
I don't. Morally or practically?
Both. Okay. I have a nice shiny artifact. I can sell that to somebody. Can't sell my kid. I mean, even if I could, I get a really rubbish price for it.
Right, but
you can make your kid mow your lawn. You can, you can make him go dig out a gold mine like they do in this movie. They got a lot of uses, man.
Right.
But he'll want like pocket money, so I'm not willing to,
Yeah, but Indiana Jones is always like, this should be placed in a museum, but with the rock, he returns it to the village. So it's this
holy artifact or something.
Yeah,
it's these magical tisms.
Yeah, I think the reason is because most of the artifacts he's found, the people who had anything to do with it are long dead, and no one can use it. While with this one, it's like, no, this village needs this. Yeah. So.
Which is why I've always found the criticism of, Indiana Jones just goes around stealing shit. It's like, he doesn't really steal from anybody.
Okay, what does he steal? Oh, he steals an idol that gets stolen off of him. What else does he steal?
Yeah.
The Holy no, he doesn't steal the Holy Grail. He puts it back.
The Ark of the Covenant gets stored in a giant warehouse somewhere.
Yeah, but the Nazis steal that.
Yeah.
Top.
He was just trying to stop the Nazis from stealing it.
Yeah, and now it's somewhere safe with other magical tisms.
Yeah.
I suppose the little idol at the beginning of Raiders, when he gets chased by the boulder.
Yeah, that's it.
And then he gets chased by a tribe.
But he's getting that to stop the other guy getting it.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of stealing that was.
Opening scene of movie.
Well, yeah, just it introduces you to Indy, but I just don't know why he was stealing it. If you know, tell me, please.
I don't recall. I'm sorry.
It was probably because he was trying to stop what's his face, the villain of the first movie, getting his hands on it, because he turns up straight away afterwards, doesn't he? He escapes. So
all right, well, good enough for me, I guess.
And he's not really surprised that he's there. He's more surprised that he's managed to get the local tribe to be on his side.
Anyway,
you can kind of call that theft. Resetting all those traps can't be easy.
So the point of this is not to do this for profit. He's not trying to get fame. He's just trying to right a wrong. And it happens to involve his intelligence and his understanding of history and apparently mechanical engineering of the ancient civilizations that had all these traps and what have you. So he knows.
Oh, come on, Smud. We've all had our 2-week basic courses in understanding ancient mechanical engineering.
Right.
To get through the pyramids and stuff.
So you get a bag of rocks, right?
There's a bag of sand. Come on.
All right.
Fucking failed the first lesson.
Well, what is sand but very tiny rocks?
Even when he was reading the diary from his dad of what to do, how to avoid all those like kneeling and this and that, like he figures stuff out. It's kind of like watching or playing an adventure game. That's why the adventure games from Indiana Jones, the point and click adventures, translated so well. It's like, yeah, that's you're playing as Indiana Jones. Obviously not as exciting as a film, but the adventure games made some sense. I think it was about Atlantis that I remember playing.
Yeah, that does ring a bell. Yeah.
They had like
in the Lost City of Atlantis.
They had like this technology called orichalcum, which were these pellets that use this fuel to power all these ancient machines that were basically just made of rock. But it was like, oh, they invented this entire technology that potentially these ancient civilizations were using to move. So these ideas are great, and this is what you expect out of a pulp. And to translate that into film, to translate that into a video game or adventure game, really makes sense and is easy to understand. So it felt in place at the time for the 80s as well as the 90s when these games came out. And that was during the era of Sierra. I don't know if you guys remember playing Sierra games back in the day, which were all adventure games. So
King's Quest,
yeah, all kinds of great games.
Oh man,
I missed that.
Even before that, there were Carmen Sandiego games, which felt like Indiana Jones games because every time you travel in the world, you'd have that giant red
the
arrow. Yeah, wherever you were going from A to B, it would show the arrow, the red arrow going from, and you travel, show the time going by. It's like that's like Indiana Jones. The same effect.
I remember once my brother actually questioned me, why does he leave that big red line? Everyone can follow him. I was like, no, it's not real.
He's drawing a map everywhere he goes with the red line.
Yeah, I was just like, what?
That's a trope in Looney Tunes.
It's like, what?
Yeah, you ever watch Looney Tunes when they're doing the little arrow thing and it's actually Bugs just drawing an arrow behind him?
But yeah, I just that was the last time I watched a movie with my brother. To be honest, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore.
That was the last time I saw my brother.
Don't know what happened to him. He just went out fishing one evening on the lake.
On a lake?
Godfather reference. Yeah, on a lake. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a Godfather reference. Don't worry about it.
All right, let's keep going.
Honestly, it feels like the Temple of Doom critics don't really remember Raiders as well as they think. Oh, the villains are campy. Really? Did you forget about this guy?
No one ever forgets about this guy.
The bar's closed.
Come out of the shadows.
We are not thirsty.
Some of the special effects look really bad. What, like Raiders didn't have that problem as well?
Okay, so that looks fucking horrific. And
frame to pause on.
yeah, so the special effects don't look as good. Yeah, because this is made in the 80s.
Yeah.
This is pretty iconic. I mean, this is really etched into your brain.
Yeah.
Like, this is the image I think when I think about the first movie.
Ah!
It's great. It's fantastic. It's like, yes, the Nazis are getting it from Jesus.
Jesus, man.
No, it's
Well, all the
Jewish thing, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah. 'Cause,
That- the whole
Yahweh.
thing is that, like, they
Yeah,
had, like,
Jewish, yeah.
someone who can, like,
Yeah,
like
it was
ancient
Hebrew.
Hebrew.
Yahweh.
Oy vey.
Oh, Yahweh,
Oh.
idiot.
Oh, they're going to make a Caesar
I'm not
reference.
Jewish.
Always.
Yahweh, true to Kaiser.
Yeah, but Oy vey's Jewish.
Degenerates
though.
like you belong on a cross.
Thank you, Zach.
Dude, I'm
Oh
about to
come on,
finish my.
Spud, you were complaining about a week ago that you didn't have Zach on to say that.
Oh,
Well,
where
when
are
it
you?
fits. When
Where
it fits.
are you? It's my soundboard when I'm gone, do you? No, I'm actually about to finish my first Caesar's Legion playthrough, and it's been pretty fun. I went to the Lonesome Road for the first time. I got that tribal armor. I'm putting on the mask and everything, so during the Battle of Hoover Dam, I'm just going to be running around with like a Blade of the West and just chopping through NCR.
Ah, good
So
times.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Also, my intelligence is a 1 and my charisma is a 1.
Yeah, you don't really need those two very much.
You don't really need them. No, all you need is strength, endurance, agility, and luck maxed
Zach.
out, and you're good.
Zach, when we were watching you, I kept hearing was, "Oh, I wish my intelligence was one more higher, so then I didn't have to kill every single person I come across."
Well, that was a fleeting moment of weakness, and
I
now
want to do this quest. Oh, I've only got 1 intelligence. I guess I'm just gonna have to kill you.
oh yeah, that's fine. It's way easier to barter with a corpse than it is with a living person.
Yes, I uninstalled the game, but it's still the memories. Oh, yes.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
The bad guys are just negative stereotypes. Because this is such a loving portrait of the German people.
Okay,
It's too dark.
Nazis.
No, they're Nazis. Yeah.
Nazis.
Nazis, but positive.
Why
Also,
can't-
cult.
Why can't
And
we?
all the other Indian people were nice and like really like, hey, like there's an evil cult over there and we're not them.
Yeah, there's like a literal comparison that there's the good people and the bad people of this.
Name one good German in Raiders.
In Raiders, I like the qualification.
Well, why can't we stereotype Nazis as bad guys? What's wrong with that? I mean,
Name
Also,
one
name one
good
good-
German in Raiders.
We have JoJo
or even
good
or
Nazi
even
representation.
Last Crusade. Go on. What's even in Last Crusade? Okay, there's Germans. Name one good German in that one. Exactly.
Karl Marx,
So
Friedrich
Uh,
Engels.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I did bring up at the beginning, like, I wonder if Short Round would be considered racist nowadays.
someone would definitely find it racist for no reason.
yeah, someone fight. Yeah.
Like, you can convince me.
Someone would find bloody, I don't know, side character 247 racist or something in Temple of Doom. I don't know.
Look, man, like, I'm saying you can convince me of anything if your points are good and your evidence is strong. But I got a pretty solid set of beliefs, man. I don't claim to know everything, but you can.
Dude, we are living in an age when Dr. Seuss books are racist.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you know what? I had people in the comments defending that action. I was just like, really? You're defending the influence of the left-leaning, political-minded people, harping on.
It was because the company decided to not do it. Yeah, they didn't do it all by themselves. They did it because they were forced into doing it.
Right.
No, that's different. It's like, no, it's not different.
Nobody's forcing a company. So Bill Burr has a great bit in his special Paper Tiger, which everybody should go watch, by the way, where he's talking about these companies are just bowing down to the Paper Tiger of the left-leaning Twitter crowd because they, God forbid, one red cent rolls out their door, and all they do is weigh the pros and cons of we can either capitulate to this minority left-leaning crowd that's just a paper tiger in a hurricane and lose the conservative money, or just keep doing what we're doing. And they would much rather lose the conservative money than the left money because, I don't know, the left buys more shit.
No, we don't.
I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know, man.
90%.
But it's all a numbers game.
Weren't a customer anyway.
It's all a numbers game, and Disney, everything are going to do, or well, they're going to try to do whatever makes them more money.
Yeah.
And that's the way the wind is blowing, and I want out.
Hope you enjoy those movies shot next to concentration camps, because that's how they think they're getting money.
Yeah, Jesus! Like I just see the way the wind is blowing, and I want out. For the longest time I've been.
I made a joke about those Indian children being slaves to Disney. I'm not that far off. Pretty much.
Not far. Oh man. I was liberal and left-leaning for so long, and I even supported BLM for the longest time, but it's just like I see the way the wind is blowing, and I don't like it. So I've switched sides because the left kicked me out because I started using common sense. I've been called Nazi more times than I can count. It's just like,
Stack, you're just a 40-year-old Nazi who watches videos.
Yeah, I'm a 40-year-old Nazi shadow person, even though the inside of my hood is really bright. So.
And you're 28.
Yeah. That's true too.
Yeah.
Ladies.
So let's not get into the whole book removal of shelves and all these other weird things. Why would they take away like Mark Twain and other authors? I don't know, but
what I love about that is it's racist. Yeah. I'm like, but Karl Marx is perfectly fine with that. Yeah, Karl Marx, the incredibly racist guy who's one of the biggest racists of all time. Oh well. Yeah.
No, but he had other good ideas, so we just ignore that. Like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So why can't we just ignore what Dr. Seuss says? No. That's different. Why? Because he's not our god figure of our cult. Okay. Thank you.
Pretty much, yeah. If you offend the religious cult leader or god exactly of the organization. Yep. Can't do that.
Yeah, I just remembered, by the way, something that shocked me last night. When last night I was about to go to bed, and it was like the time that I decided, like, nope, I'm done for the day. It's time to go to bed. I'm done. I'm out. Need to go sleep off this anger. Krista Elia, a comedian, just came under allegations for child porn. I think.
Okay.
I'm reading up on the story, and I see in the Twitter comments, or the Twitter replies, man, such a shame. He was really funny. I'm glad I hope we can just separate the art from the artist. Like, you will separate the art from the artist of a pedophile, or alleged pedophile, but you can't forgive Dr. Seuss. Okay, then.
Gina Carano, isn't it? Pretty much.
Gina Carano did nothing wrong.
Yeah, but she must be completely cancelled and everything.
She's been called transphobic, fascist, alt-right, everything under the sun. I've been following her for about 2 years now.
They want
Never once.
to cancel Henry Cavill as well now because he dated her in 2000.
Never once have I seen anything alt-right or fascistic or transphobic or anything from Gina Carano.
Is she a radical communist?
No, she's right-leaning.
Okay, so she's alt-right fascist then.
No, she's right-leaning. She's conservative, and that's fine.
There's
only, but we are derailing too much from indie.
Yeah, we're derailing. Yeah, sorry.
My bad. Sorry, discussion.
Yeah,
it's interesting, but anyway, everything has its own time.
There we go.
Yeah.
Smud, you miss having me on?
I'm sorry, Smud.
You done yet? Okay, we're good.
It's fine.
There's not enough humor.
We are going to die.
I beg to differ. I'm not saying you have to like Temple of Doom as much as Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I think that if you consider it to be a bad movie, you should probably reassess why you think Raiders is such a good movie. Both have great humor, great action, over-the-top villains, and supernatural twists on old world mythology, with incredible photography and music, and our beloved hero on a non-stop thrill ride. What's not to love? But with the film receiving so much backlash, they decided to play it safe with The Last Crusade by basically rehashing everything that worked in Raiders, with the beloved sidekicks, the Nazis searching for another Christian artifact in the desert, but this time with a twist. His dad is along for the adventure.
Junior? Yes, sir.
The Last Crusade is a great Indiana Jones film, don't get me wrong, but it feels like a retread to me, and I would have loved to see the franchise follow its original episodic intentions.
Okay, so this just immediately...
It's still episodic.
I know.
It has no connections to the other two.
This is immediately episode 7 vibes of Star Wars. It's just like, I just went back to the original and just started copying, and you're like, oh, well... Look at the two comparisons between episode 7, stealing the plot of the first episode 4, and trying to say, oh, this is just a rehash of what came before in Indiana Jones. You're like, okay, let's say it is a rehash. What do we get? Okay, we get Nazis again. We get a story about antiquity. There's some secret artifact. Of course, the Holy Grail, very well-known, famous story. Part of folklore, part of all sorts of urban legends, fantastic stuff. We get
written
all
by
sorts of
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Is he genuinely saying that Last Crusade is not a good one?
No.
No.
Okay, good.
He's defending all
this.
this.
He's not an idiot.
No. We could watch Last Crusade and go, that was a great film. We can list reasons why without having to know anything about the first one. We can't do the same with Episode 7 Star Wars. In fact, if we knew Episode 4, we go, oh my God, this is Episode 4 done badly, done poorly, or trying to do as much as possible. So I really like comparing these two just because we all enjoy these films for some simple reason, because they're not supposed to be deep. They're not supposed to be complex. Everything's about plot. Everything's about surface level stuff. Yes, there's some elements of romance and Indy's being a good person and some moral there. Sure, that's great. All hero guys have that sort of thing going for them. But we can easily turn this into a comic book. We can turn this into, was it a serialized TV show? And I think they tried that for a bit. It didn't go very far. So
yeah, it did the Younger Ventures of Indiana Jones.
Right, yeah. It was...
Which was...
I don't know. Yeah. So
River Phoenix? I think that was the actual...
No, it was... I think that well, that's in the Last Crusade, but in the actual
that was Last
series, it was someone else. But they also had 100. I think it was 105-year-old Indiana Jones at the start of each episode, recalling a story. I'm like, okay, why?
that came from George Lucas.
It's like, why? Oh, do you want to watch Indiana Jones in the trenches of World War One? No, not really. Please stop.
So that was an idea by George Lucas. Didn't go very well.
And then he made
They
the
got a
prequel.
couple. They got a couple of series. Oh god, yeah. The 90s for George Lucas were not a good
A
time.
special edition. Star Wars.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So many bangers.
And it went on for a while. I don't know how long, but it was like, oh boy, this is little hard to stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but they had all these.
I tried my best. I tried my best to actually watch that series. Honest to God.
I watched it, but like it was just really like the last thing that was on TV, because at the time we had only had like 3 channels on TV,
Yeah.
so that was the only show that was on, other than like boring ass like news or like Latin American soap operas. So, what am I gonna watch on TV in like a rainy day?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Apparently, they had
In-
Keith David and Christopher Lee and a bunch of other Ian McDermott, like all these other actors on there for whatever episodes.
Mhm.
So they tried their best.
It was a thing in like the late 80s and 90s where you could get movie stars onto these like episodic series, anthology series, what they used to be called. You could get quite a couple of big name stars on just for like one episode. Very, very different to what it is now.
Yeah. So this was translatable to many formats. Whether those formats worked out or people know how to write those things is another ball game. So the fact that it's translatable because it's so simple to grasp is like, yes, this is how storytelling should work, at least on a surface level. And if that's all you've got to work with, you could turn this into a comic book. You can turn this into an animated show. You can turn it into all sorts of things. So this is what I just want to mention, just because it's not supposed to be complicated. It's supposed to be very obvious, and you get a little twist and turn here and there in the plot. Other than that, not a big deal. So,
Yeah.
And we get that with what's her name? The blonde
Elsa.
Elsa. There you go. Fantastic. Which I guess some people saw coming, but for me as a kid, you're like, oh, why'd you do that?
Yeah. Blonde hair. Did she have blue eyes as well? 'Cause I think she's like the proper Aryan.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And she dies, which is hilarious.
For instance, the original story outlines for the third film involved a haunted mansion, to give you an idea of the sort of campy adventures that they were originally going for. And this is why Kingdom of the Crystal Skull seemed to come out of nowhere for most fans, but for the true die-hard indie fans, it made perfect sense. If the original
Slow down.
No, it didn't. No.
Okay. What he is correct is the setting and the idea of opposition, of conflict, of characters going against some political or big organization like the Nazis or the Soviets. Like, yeah, that makes perfect sense in American history. You want to have some big evil group which you can pull up and say, yep, he's the bad guys. It's how it's done. That's always the problem. So on paper, it sounds great. It's like, yeah, he's going to fight the Soviets and they're going to go find a bunch of artifacts. And you're like, it's Indiana Jones. And then it's not
and then you see
Indiana
the
Jones.
Soviets, and it's Kate Blanchett, and you're like, oh no, oh no, we've gone horribly wrong somewhere.
Homage to the adventure serials of the 1930s, and if you have to move the timeline forward to account for Harrison's age, then it seems like a no-brainer to pay homage to the adventure B-movies of the 1950s, where it was all about the Red Menace, usually interpreted through a marginal
Better dead than red. Cool.
And just like the other 3 films, it relies on real-world politics and mythology. The Russians were interested in exploring mind control possibilities, and theories of ancient aliens contributing to highly advanced old-world civilizations have been around for centuries. So it carries on the tradition of honoring adventure serials of their respective time period, while still allowing for the globe-trotting, treasure-hunting adventure that we've come to expect from Indiana Jones, complete with the humor and the action set pieces that have become trademarks of the series.
You have to remember Harrison Ford is in his 60s doing this.
Yeah.
I thought that was closer.
Obviously, I'm with most fans in thinking that a few scenes took things too far, and there are
Oh, there it
enough
is.
flaws to hold the film back. From
Wow, this is
I think it
this
was
is
really
racist.
nice to break tradition
Really?
by starting the movie with a bunch of random teenagers instead of Indy. I think Mutt was underdeveloped and doesn't contribute much to the story other than making old man jokes.
You could have
and
said that's like a
justifying
thing
Marion
for
returning
American
to the
Graffiti, though.
franchise. I think they should have toned down the CG quite a bit. It seems like the magnetic power of the skull changes every single time it's on screen, and all in all, it just doesn't quite hold up to the other three. But in spite of all of that, I still think it's a really fun movie. Many of the action set pieces were
You just
incredibly
explained why it's
satisfying. I found a lot of the humor to be thoroughly enjoyable. I loved most of the new characters they introduced, and Harrison Ford
Okay.
is undeniably excellent, as always, despite his old age.
Undeniably?
It still
Explain.
feels like it has all of the staples that made the other three films so great. I definitely think
But
Yeah, like Aliens.
like you can't just say it's great because it is great. Give us examples why it's good. You can't just
Okay,
say
I love the new
performance.
characters. Okay, name one.
Oh man,
But-
his arguments were like okay, well, half of them were shit, half of them were okay. In the first part,
he talked quite well about Temple of Doom.
Right.
With this one, he's like, yeah, this is really good.
But
really-
he
it
just-
made me
like
feel
it,
good
really
things.
He just glossed
he has-
over
Oh my goodness!
episode 3, and I was just like, "What, dude? Like, why? What happened? How do we jump into
Well,
this?"
he thinks number 3 is a really good film, so he doesn't have to defend it.
Dude, he's got 3 minutes to convince us that
Two
Crystal
actually, because the
Skull.
last minute is just gonna be sponsored.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
guys, have you
used Squarespace before?
he did that to start for like 2 seconds. We know it's coming.
I
no.
use Square.
Have you ever
Squarespace.
made a website yourself?
And you don't have any money, and you want to make website. It's like go to Squarespace. Like, okay.
Or
But-
message
but you know
me
what?
in
Hang on,
3D
hang
over
on,
on the
hang on,
Smudcast
let's go.
Discord.
I just like the fact that he goes like, does all about, hang on, there's still a minute, and all you hear is, anyway, Raid Shadow Legends. And I'm like, God.
God damn it!
But yeah,
Man.
he's really glossed over Crystal Skull here.
Well, I just came back
I
and
liked
it
it.
was just like it made me feel good things.
It was rapid fire. Yeah, I like it. I like this. I like that. Okay, why? Just say why you like something.
Yeah, he says defending the bad Indiana Jones movies. You did have you had like a 50% hit rate on Temple of Doom. So like, okay, yeah, you defended it, I guess. But
That's
this
easy.
is
Temple of Doom is
so
Temple of Doom is easier to defend because a lot of the arguments against Temple of Doom are quite basic. While with King of Crystal Skull, you can go into a lot of detail.
Yeah,
as a
and,
why it's bad. So it's
actually
more harder.
I was actually really concerned because I was watching the scan bar. When he was talking about Temple of Doom, I was watching the scan bar most of the time. It got about to the halfway point. I'm like, all right, man, you just spent most of your time talking about the good movie. You need to defend the bad one now.
Crystal
And-
Skull is indefensible because
Yeah.
it's a movie that never should have been made. They never should have brought back Indiana Jones. He's too old. Plus,
Yeah.
the people making it don't really care about it. Steven didn't really want to make the movie, and he shouldn't have, so he didn't really give a shit about making it good, I feel like. And then George really didn't give a shit about making a movie that, while pretending to be a 50s B movie, was shot like it was made in 2008 with a bunch of CGI shit, which is not what people wanted. Nobody wanted to see Indiana Jones get with the girl that he got with in the first movie and then get married. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about Mutt because nobody really cares about Shia LaBeouf. They don't want the idea that Indiana Jones is a deadbeat father, especially when the last movie was about how he reconnected with his father, who he always hated for being such a hard ass. So him being a shitty father is stupid.
God, they
else?
keep making Harrison
The
Ford a
idea-
shitty father.
The idea, yeah, they keep doing that. That's something I'm mentioning in my Blade Runner review.
Jesus Christ.
The fridge scene is indefensible because it doesn't make any scientific sense. Indiana Jones says nuclear when he's talking about nuclear blasts and nobody even bothered to fix that. He takes an unreasonable amount of damage constantly in the movie without getting his face smashed in. The magnet shit doesn't make any sense. The idea of interdimensional beings that George wanted to put out there doesn't really play into it. It doesn't really make any sense how putting skeletons together makes any sense. All the glass shit. It doesn't make sense that there are people hiding in the walls waiting for them when they get there. None of the traps in the movie basically kill anybody. I think there's only one person that dies in this entire movie. None of the tombs that they go into are deadly at all. The movies does not have a hard stance against communism. It doesn't create any villains that are like that. So the only scene in the movie that I thought is worth a damn is the motorcycle chase. Other than that, this movie really should never have been made. It is an abomination and a taint on the entire franchise. And if they make a fifth one, it'll be even worse.
Well, they're making a TV series.
Harrison Ford is 80 odd now. There's only 10 years age difference between him and Sean Conn.
He's actually 97 now, which is crazy to think, because 2021 was 20 years ago.
97.
I like how I'm just reading a bit of the wiki. It says there's an international reaction. The Communist Party of the Russian Federation called for a ban on the film, accusing the production team of demonizing the Soviet Union.
We will make you like us, Dr. Jones, and you won't even know it. Oh, I am Russian woman. Look at me with sword.
Baba-booey. Vodka.
My name is Babushka, and I'm here to tell you,
Vladimir
Jones, I like vodka.
Also, my haircut is like a Nazi.
No, the best presentation of Russians as bad guys in film is GoldenEye.
General Arkady Grigorovich Orbov. He's going to shoot us. He's going to shoot us with a satellite.
And then we're going to have, what's his name? Alan Cumming as a Russian. That's good.
Oh,
I am invincible!
Talia! On here! Not Talia, I am Russian. I love anybody that can do shitty Russian accents. Make a whole shitty action movie. I just want a terrible action movie with stereotypes. Is that too much to ask? Anyway. Nazis. I hate those guys.
Russians.
I kind of accept those guys.
That's what I wanted. The only thing I wanted out of Susan Ivanova in Babylon 5 was a Russian accent. I never got it.
It's not even hard to do a Russian accent. I don't understand. That's one of the easy accents to copy.
It's very noticeable when it's Americans doing it.
Yeah, but who cares?
It's actual Russians.
Yeah, but nobody cares.
No one cares.
Nobody cares. That's the number one rule of entertainment.
About Russians.
Nobody cares about them fucking Russians. I can just do whatever accent I want. It's okay. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm Russian. I'm walking here.
Nieto.
Who wants some vodka? Am I right? Did I do
was that that comedian? He says the Russian accent is the easiest. You just put Y at the end of every word you use or something. At the beginning or end of every word.
You think she would
movie accent? Yes.
It was really funny when GTA 4 came out and they had Nico.
Hey, Nico, let's go, boy!
None of that was actually Balkan's people. Like the guy that played Nico was not like Bellic. The way nobody's name is Bellic. It'd be Nico Bellic. Nobody. So people don't care. That's the thing. People don't care, especially Balkans people. Like Russian is such a big. There are enough Russians that people can still make a bitch fit about it, I guess. But the thing is that because Russians are like the new Arabs in the Trump era, you know what I mean? You can blame everything on them. It was Russians, and then in 2004, it was Arabs. It's so there's always like a boogeyman.
It sounds like a really bad Marvel comic.
Who's gonna be the next after Russians? Just 2 points.
White people.
Oh.
Always have been.
The Dutch. I don't know.
The Dutch. It's those fucking Malaysians. No, I'm just kidding.
All the Russian folks.
You gotta pick somebody.
It's those
Sorry.
Philippines and their damn ladyboys.
So I know Mr. Super Tall Black Man. I am aware that Nico wasn't Russian. He's Yugoslavian of some type. He's something. They never specify what he is. They never do.
Yugoslavian of some type.
Seriously, he comes from the Balkans, but they never Belik would be like almost a Croatian name, but it's like there's no itch sign. There's nothing that makes that.
Yeah,
there's no
GTA
whatever that
4
word
doesn't
that
really,
little.
Doesn't really like exist in like the same world as ours, so it could be any made up nation that he comes from. That's the joys of GTA.
All of those countries are different. Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, Slovenia, Slovakia, Macedonia, Montenegro, and fucking Anatolia. All those different places. Spaghetti Land.
Kosovo.
You could say he's Serbian, but he never says he's Serbian. He never says, "Hey, cousin, it's just like when we were in Belgrade." Wow.
Sugar-free Russia.
Let's get some ceviche.
Mark, you come from that area. What are the names of the countries around there?
Of course I know. That's why I said my comment. But yeah, I'm
Where
only
are you from?
5% Polish, so I can't speak.
Oh, Polish.
My great grandfather was.
Are there Poles in Poland?
Yes. You know what there aren't in Poland? Crystal skulls and Mayan temples that turn into UFOs for no reason.
Are there Poles in?
How do you like that? How do you like the entire part of this movie, this Crystal Skull movie, all leading up to just a UFO? That's what George thought would be really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, what if we just like have it turns into the UFO? Yeah, George, whatever. Fuck it, let's do it.
No, Glib,
Steven Spielberg just going sure.
George, for God's sake, I've told you before, stop interrupting me when I'm doing coke. Now get out.
And then how do you like just this fucking British guy in the movie just betraying everybody constantly? How is that a
Ray
good
Winston's character? Yeah, it's great. Indy, I'm a capitalist. No, I'm actually. I'm a capitalist.
Jonesy, this is like when we were in. This is like when we were in that river.
I'm a Cockney.
I'm a fucking Cockney accent, mate. Oh shit. Yeah. So anyway, this movie sucks balls and it's indefensible.
Also, with that Ray Winston's character, they literally reveal that he's a traitor 5 minutes into the fucking movie, and it's like it's even if they were going to go for it, it's a bit like, why? I'm a double agent. You betrayed me again, so you're like a double agent? Nah, I just lied about the second double. Oh, fuck off.
Didn't he kill himself at the end of the movie? Like,
yeah, he killed himself. He just goes. He was hanging onto Indy's whip, and Indiana Jones goes, "You've got to leave the money." He goes, "I'll be fine, Indy." And he lets go. It's like, I don't give a shit who this guy is. Die. Why the fuck are you helping them? Just leave him.
Go away.
Go away. You're British. We don't like you.
You're dumb and stupid, and your accent's bad.
Oh no.
You should feel bad.
I wish I had a British accent. Then I could just
wish you had
all the American pussy.
I wish you had any accent.
Any accent, really? Is that
any accent? Yeah, you just don't have one. You're a cowboy, and you don't even have a cowboy. Hey, Kermit the Frog here.
The Frog here. Yeah. So I think we should keep on going with the this video here.
That's not an accent. That's a voice.
What do you mean this is an accent?
It's not an accent.
Oh wait, the GTA wiki has his answer.
What are you talking about? So you want me to have some kind of fucking accent? Is this an accent? Is this fucking good enough for you, you scumbag?
Yeah.
You piece of shit, Fugazi. I know what you are. I know what you're doing here. You're a fucking Fugazi, okay?
Fugazi is a wazi. It's a
Hey,
woozy.
you say Fugazi, I say Fugazi. It doesn't matter because you're fucking crazy. And if I keep hearing it, you're gonna end up in the fucking bay, all right? So shut your mouth and let's get on with this fucking video before I have to call the cops so they can come and pick your body up.
I've never heard like
that was
a New York cowboy.
What? Neither have I, Zach.
What? Anyway, Mark, what are you going to say about where does Nico come from?
Serbia, according to the producer of the game. He what the fuck? He was born in Belgrado.
He was born in Belgrade?
Is that actually a real place?
Yeah, it is. It's the capital of Serbia.
I thought you just thought Belgrade.
He was born in Podgorica.
Oh, but it's like called
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But I didn't know until you said it just then that he actually was intended to be Serbian, because there's nothing in his character inherently that's explicitly Serbian. He never speaks it.
Like, he never says that kebabs should go away.
You know.
Roman, we fought the kebabs for this.
I don't know how to do his voice because it's not Serbian. It's not a Serbian accent at all. It's just some American guy doing an accent.
Remove kebab.
Cousin, do you want to go remove kebab or go bowling?
Bowling.
Bowling for kebab.
Well, maybe if it was for schnitzel, then it'd be okay.
All I know is big American titties. That's all I care about.
Okay.
Our sights are set on big American titties, cousin. Sorry.
This would explain the obsession with bowling, I guess. I don't know.
Let's go bowling. For the last time, Roman, I don't want to go fucking bowling.
Was that the one GTA that everyone skipped between 3 and 5? It's like no one really liked it that much.
A lot of people liked it.
No, it was alright. It was just...
It's so boring. GTA 4 is such a boring
really
game.
boring.
I just played through it, and it's like waiting for the days to pass as I just play all the missions. And it's not bad. It's not bad. And I actually learned to, as I played the game and got used to the driving, I kind of like it. The camera's a little wonky, but it's not fun. GTA 5 is fun. Like GTA 5, you crash, you flip your car over. It's like not a big deal. You can jump, you can do backflips. There's planes and helicopters you can fly and jump out of. Like, it's fun, you know. And there's customization and there's more shit going on. GTA 4 is just kind of, but whatever they come out with next is going to be awesome. And when you go back and play GTA 3 and you compare it to Vice City and San Andreas, you can see like GTA 3 is the boring one. Liberty City is always the most boring because it's chosen for its simplicity every time that they upgrade the engine. Basically, that's what the precedent is.
Lots of buildings, straight roads. There you go. Yeah, GTA 5 is really good. Everybody always rags on GTA 4, but everybody loves A Ballad of Gay Tony.
Yeah.
Which I never played.
I just had very good memories of Vice City, number 2.
Vice City, oh yeah.
I remember having to... my mom didn't want me playing any of the GTA games because, I don't know, GTA bad or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. She thought I'd go out and fuck a hooker or something and then kill her to get my money back.
And
So,
she was true. She was fucking psychic there, Zach.
yeah, I've killed many hookers, so she was right. I had to borrow Vice City from a buddy of mine because he found out I had never played it and called me a pussy, so I just asked him to borrow it. Come home, put it in my PS2, and I had to play while my mom was at work for about a half hour each day, and one day, like, I just did not hear her come in. Or, what was it? Oh, yeah. She didn't actually go to work that day, so she was just asleep in the other room, and then she heard me playing it, and I was just like, oh, fuck. I got caught. I got grounded for a long time.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, she also snapped the disc in half, and I had to pay my buddy back.
Wow.
I'm like, hey, Mom, that was $60, and I'm like 12.
Well, better start ending your way then.
Yep, I mowed a lot of lawns.
Okay. All right, we got 2 minutes left here. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Ballad
the
of Gay
weakest
Tony is
four,
better.
but to be fair, that's some pretty stiff competition. And when the series was in hibernation for 20 years, it's only natural for it to
hibernation
suffer
should be
from all
called
of that
dead.
time waiting.
John
Let's
Hurt.
fucking bring it
I
back.
think
Look at
that
these
all
old
four
fuck.
Indiana Jones films
Don't
have
do it.
something different to offer. They're all fun and exciting in their own way.
No, they're
And I
not.
think that if you can watch Temple of Doom or Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, again, understanding that they're campy on purpose, cliche by design.
This is getting silly because
No!
Shame by design.
No,
he's
Fuck out.
trying to argue.
You have not defended Crystal Skull at all.
He's trying to describe a genre in a very unintelligible, not direct way. So he's like saying, look at this concept of a genre. That's what these movies are. It's like, we don't need to understand genre to understand the film or the story or the characters or the action. When we look at Crystal Skull, we say, this does not look right. This doesn't even feel right at times with the the monkeys running around. Like, just like, what is happening?
It just takes you the whole movie from like scene one just doesn't draw you in. It like pushes you away, and you're like, I don't want to be involved in this adventure.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Well, here's the thing: he put a lot. He obviously put some time into Temple of Doom. I assume because he knew that would be the easiest one to defend, and he could get a lot of points out. But with Crystal Skull, he's literally gone. I like the new characters. Didn't name one of them or the reason why you like the new characters. And just gone like, yeah, you just rewatch them all. You'll be fine. Like,
I think Temple of Doom had plenty of good elements. Just some elements didn't work as well. So that's fine. And you could argue that
delete short round and delete blonde round, and the movie is instantly just as good as Raiders. Just instead of having the blonde chick that Steven just put in the movie because he wanted to bang her, and then short round who was put in the movie just because he wanted to bang her.
He did well.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but here's the point. The point is, those shits are fucking annoying. Take that out and take the rubber thing out, and suddenly the movie's actually good, and it reflects what those old movies were really about, what the Pulp series were about. Somebody going on an adventure, saving the village, saving the crystal, the sacred Jedi texts, and bringing them back, and saving the day, and kissing some exotic sweetie, and then driving away on a horse. So it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be cliche or whatever this guy's saying. It doesn't have to be that complex. But why do you want this warbling, annoying bitch that just goes Indy? And why do you want short round there going, oh, Dr. Jones, I'm gonna say something in an Asian accent real quick. Look out! Here, Dr. Jones, here's some ammunition. Kill that guy. Oh, fuck! Nobody likes that shit. Get that out of the movie.
He's short round.
I like short round.
Short
round. He sucks.
You suck.
Why is short round in the movie?
He's helpful. He's endearing. And he's a cute kid.
Yeah.
So
Why would you bring a kid around anything that Dr. Jones does? That's fucked up. This is a dude that shoots people. Goes around messing with gangs. This is a dude that gets people killed all the time. Are you kidding me?
You would not have a child on an adventure with you to act as a bullet sponge while
Short
you
round does not belong anywhere near Indiana Jones, the series in general.
If I had a small child sidekick, I'd bring him on dangerous missions. I'd be like, you go.
It's actually explained in the movie, if I remember.
Why would you do that?
I think it's actually explained in the movie that Short Round fucking stole something off of Dr. Jones and he had to track him down.
That's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid.
Hey, listen,
having
we're not saying it's great, but,
having some kid out of school, he's like, Dr. Jones is like, it belongs in a museum, but he can't say this kid belongs in a school. Get out of the way, kid. What the fuck are you doing?
But he's an Asian
doing?
kid. They're just smart.
But he's
They don't need
Asian.
school. They don't need school.
You hear that, chat? I think this is racist. All
Any-
British people are racist.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. You can't trust the Imperials, man. They just want to enslave Short Round, man.
Short round, specifically short round.
You're talking about a guy. This guy that I'm debating right now. He believes that child labor is okay because they're Asian.
Yes.
That's what he just said.
Yes.
You can put Short Round to work to be your little. He doesn't. Does he even get paid? Does Indy pay him? How does this relationship work? What's going on here? I don't like this. Where are his parents? Where are your parents? Calling 911.
My name is Chris
There's a trafficked Asian kid named Short Round. I don't know what his original name was. Probably Shi Ban Wa Xiong Chong Feng.
Round Short.
But that's
Hello,
not racist.
Indiana Jones. My name is Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. You could have a seat right over here.
What do you mean, take a seat?
That seat belongs in a museum.
This is fucked up. Delete. And they knew that he was a bad idea because they removed him from the next movie.
Well,
Not in
I can't actually think of a defense for a short round.
Junior, what are you doing with this little Asian boy? This Oriental boy? Like, what the fuck? Is this your
He's like,
son?
Dad, I love him.
Can I keep him? Dad, I want to keep him. You can't keep him, son.
It's the dog all over again.
Short Round's parents were dead. How convenient.
Yeah,
I guess I gotta
Indiana Jones
keep
killed
him
them.
for the movie.
And Andy killed them.
Short Round, I'm trying to bang this blonde chick. Can you get out of the way?
Well, I said I wanted to freeze.
So Indiana Jones should not be anywhere near kids.
Short Round was homeless on the streets of Shanghai and tried to pickpocket Indy.
Indiana Jones should be out there trying to bang strange women. That is his job. His job is to find artifacts and then put them in museums and put women and put them in his bedroom. It's very simple. Why is this complicated?
I told you for the last time,
how to
the
get
hat
women.
stays on during sex.
I just love that he puts artifacts in museums and women then.
Oh shit, that's why he has the whip.
Yeah. You know
He takes it into the bedroom, and he got really good with it.
Women look at that whip and they go, hell yeah. That's a man who knows what he wants. It's a man who gets what he wants.
Whether you like it or not.
No, it's just...
Why do you think the Nazi chick liked him so much? Because it's a man with a whip. Come on.
Bang artifacts and put hot women in museums. Oh no.
Nobody wants to see this half-assed shit, okay? Stop it. Stop pussifying Indiana Jones.
Also,
stop putting things in between. The only thing that should come between Indiana Jones and an artifact or pussy are traps. And I don't mean men, women. Okay?
Whoa. When we're talking about the pulp genre,
Traps or Nazis.
we're referring usually to femme fatales. The problem with the second film was that she wasn't yes, she was luxurious. Yes, she worked at a whatever dancing club bar.
Nightclub, yeah.
Yeah, but
she never once tried to kill him, and that gets Indy's dick soft.
She's just a liability. She's just a liability. She's just a thing in the way. She has no real reason to be there aside from liking Indy. So there's nothing.
A noise box.
The only thing she does is save him from that trap. That's it.
Yeah, she's really just oh my god, she's a McMuffin.
She's dead weight.
Right.
She's a McMuffin. Oh, she's dead weight. Because he has to go save her
numerous times.
Think about Temple of Doom, but instead of some tourist chick that's just a constant joke and a source of humor, it's like a local chick that falls in love with Indy. Then it's like actually something like some Bollywood chick, from back in the day.
Indiana Jones.
And then she turns out to be like the sister of the Maharaja dude. So she has there's whole things that you could do with it, but for some reason they just were focused on all this horse shit that's not Indiana Jones, like saving kids that are being put into child labor camps. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I care about two things: artifacts and women, and not necessarily in that order.
That's all he does. That's all he needs to do because he's James Bond. He's on a mission, the mission is to do something spiritually righteous in the end. That's what he needs. He needs to be connected.
I thought people were just going to say his mission
Indiana
is to do
Jones,
something. Artifacts or women.
No. Indiana Jones becomes a part of history by trying to do history right. He doesn't want to obtain objects for exploitation, which is why he's at odds with what's his name in the beginning? Belloc, right? Nico Belloc.
Yeah, I think so.
This is the problem between you and me, Dr. Jones. I am Serbian.
That's actually quite
Anyway, the thing is that Belloc is always he's always trying to do shortcuts and mislead the locals and stuff, and Indiana Jones is always trying to restore things. So giving Indiana Jones spiritual problems under the guise that he's there to uncover a mystery that's part of Western science is a very archaic thing. And they can't really do that. So that's why in Crystal Skull they have him uncovering the mystery of the Mayan Crystal Skull. Turns out to be 50s aliens and nukes and 50s. And it's just really stupid. So Raiders, it's the Ark, which is a Christian Jewish thing, right? It's a Jewish tale, the Ark of the Covenant. Then you have the actual Ark, the Holy Grail, which is a Christian thing, and has its own mystique around it. And Temple of Doom has something that doesn't really have a strong core. It's like, here, there are these things that make a skull, sort of. And really, that's not the problem. The problem isn't that they're going to have some magical power. The Nazis are going to steal this magic power and make a V3 rocket that blows everybody up with the power of God, and that's not really the problem. The problem is that we got to rescue some kids.
Shiny rock. Shiny rock gone. Where's Shiny Rock?
Where's the Shiny Rock? Oh, the Shiny Rock
Yeah,
is
but
burning the bag.
The Shiny Rock, Dr. Jones!
I'm fine. I'm fine with them getting the rocks back for the village.
That's boring as fuck.
It's not really.
That's not something we know. That's not something that is recognizable. That's like a relic.
I don't care whether it's recognizable or not. It's just an adventure. It's just an adventure.
No,
it
really matters what he's after. He has to be after an object that we think doesn't exist in reality.
Does he have to be after that? Is that a written rule?
That is yes. That is 100% what Indiana Jones is about.
Indian children.
No,
okay.
no.
Hold on. I don't. They're not real.
Who gives a fuck about that? That doesn't matter.
Hold on, Hawk. Hold on. So it's not necessarily a written rule that Indy has to go after this thing. You can have us. You can. Excuse me. It is the film's job to make us care about these shiny rocks.
No, that's
so. The question is,
what are the names of the shiny rocks again?
I don't fucking know.
Exactly. Exactly.
I also haven't seen the movie in years, my guy.
I rest my case.
I'm literally about to tell you. They are called the Indian shiny egg rocks. It's
the shiny
literally
egg
in
rocks.
the credits. Yeah.
The dragon eggs. The Dragon Balls.
Fuck you, I got it right. The shiny rocks. So, anyway, it's the movie's job to make us care about these shiny rocks.
Yeah, but you couldn't even remember the name of them. You can remember,
because I haven't seen it. Because I haven't seen it since I was a teenager, my man.
It's called after the object that they want to acquire. And Last Crusade is like almost like connected to the Holy Grail. It's not very difficult to forget about those names.
And Temple of Doom, there's a Temple of Doom. I don't understand.
That's actually the Temple of Doom is the intriguing part. That's actually the interesting part of the story. I'm not talking about that. But the stupid
the Holy Grail doesn't interest me.
I don't give a fuck about Holy Grail.
You don't care about a cup that can give you immortality. That's not a. That's not
no.
Except it didn't.
Except it didn't.
What do you mean? Except it didn't.
It didn't.
He drank out of the cup and he didn't get immortality.
What? His father came back to life because he drank out of the cup.
His father's dead in the fourth film.
He doesn't get immortality.
That's not the thing. That's not what they're suggesting.
That's what you said.
That's the myth of the Grail.
You fucked up.
That's the myth of the Grail. What happens in the movies?
The myth of
not
the shiny
100%.
eggs is it frees children.
So what you're saying is that the movies, the Raiders of the Lost Ark doesn't make sense. Where what did Hitler think he could do with the Grail? I mean, with the Ark. What did you think he was going to do?
I don't fucking know.
So then, fucking, what are you talking about? It's the movie's job to explain to us. So it's shit. So now I'm saying that movie's shit. What's your defense?
You're saying Raiders is shit?
If it's the movie's job to explain to you what it's going to happen, then what was going to happen there?
With the Ark?
What was going to happen with the Ark? What was Hitler going to do with it?
It's the movie's job to make you care about the artifacts.
And so why does it matter? Why does it matter what the artifact is what's going to happen with the
because
artifact?
Because the artifact, supposedly the artifacts not being in the school of the village is bringing a curse on the village. Hence why they were able to steal the kids
on the village.
On the village, yes.
Okay, and the consequences of the Ark.
No, I'm talking about the.
So what are the consequences of the Ark then? I'm comparing it, and then
being taken. The Nazis can use it as a. Well, the Nazis believe they can use it as a weapon.
They believe they could.
I believe they could.
At the end of the
Indiana
at the end of
Jones, with his knowledge, knows that it's got immense power in there with everything. So the film makes you go.
Lady.
He doesn't necessarily know that it's going to fry everybody at the end. And in fact, if Indy had if Indy actually, this is the funny part of Raiders, if Indy was not in the movie at all,
definitely would have been the same.
It would have had the same result. The ending would have been the same.
Yeah.
But they did a thing where they had to do the Hebrew ritual, right?
Sure.
And so like the message of that movie is basically the exact same thing as the fucking Last Crusade, where if you make the wrong choice, right? You interpret the thing wrong.
Yeah, Jehovah begins with an I.
The wrong people Bible. Do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And then what was it in Temple of Doom?
Kalima.
I didn't. Yeah.
It was Kalima.
But yeah. Okay. But the thing is, it's like those that do with like Christian religious artifacts. These to do with a cult in India. There's so many different things that aren't artifacts in the world that aren't related to Christianity. So can Indiana Jones only deal with Christian artifacts then? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, he should only deal with Christian artifacts because we dumb Westerners cannot understand any other culture.
It doesn't have to be Christian. It does not have to be Christian whatsoever.
Okay, so why can't it be Indian egg statues then?
Because it should be a real Indian object. It should be a real Indian thing. They should have they should have gone for it. And then if they wanted to do another movie,
I'm sorry we didn't do Vishnu. I'm sorry we didn't have a statue of Vishnu or something like that.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was not bad because they chose the Mayan thing, and it wasn't bad because of the Crystal Skulls. It was bad because they added 50s alien stupidity in it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree with you with that.
Right.
And the writing.
What I'm saying
the writing was also bad.
If you're going to do Indiana Jones, the idea, it's like X-Files. If you take something that you think isn't real seriously, and then the guy that takes it seriously is the hero because he respects it. And that's the message, is that respect this thing. It belongs in a museum because it belongs in a museum so that everybody can take part of history. But the thing as it is in the movie is always magically and spiritually alive. So I want to see something that Indy goes after to be something that is part of apocryphal and mythology. I would love to see that. I want to see him find the shroud.
Okay, what was the idol in South America then? What was the idol in South America? What was that? Why did he go after that? Which idol?
It's not important to the plot.
In which one?
The Raiders.
I don't know. I think it should be real. If it's not real, then it should have been. That's a good sequence on its own. I agree. And if you want to hold me to this standard, I think it should. Even though that is the initial incident, like you said, I think it should be based in some sort of reality. That's the intriguing part.
Yeah.
What's interesting about them setting up something that's just a bunch of bullshit? Why is that interesting?
Well, I think one of the big differences is with the Indian artifacts is they could possibly be real. With the crystal skull, with it literally being an alien skeleton that reforms afterwards and is magnetic and helps lift a spaceship with interdimensional space travel, it's a bit like no, that's going a bit overboard than just there's 3 egg skulls that get really hot.
So one is magic, the other is like trying to ground itself in science and aliens and everything. It's like, wait a minute, how does any of this fucking bullshit work? Because now, if you want to bring in mysticism, there's a suspension of disbelief that is different than if you want to bring science and aliens into it.
What's the problem with bringing in mythology into your story about archaeology branching out?
No, I haven't got any problems with that. That's not what I said.
I think that's the key to making a good Indiana Jones story is finding a thing in history and mythology that's related to a thing that's exotic to Westerners, identifying it and telling a story about it that ends up being a way to enter into that world of mythology. And also there's a bunch of questions that need to be answered about mythology and missing things. There's no reason to not do like you know, like the Lady in the Lake thing with the sword and the stone and all that kind of mythology thing that we think about. It's fun to make movies about that. Oh, what if that actually exists? What if there was a Loch Ness monster?
You mean the Water Nymph and the Excalibur?
All of that. What if that actually did happen? What if that was something that was lost? What about
I
Indiana
think
Jones and the Lost
it
City
did
of Atlantis?
happen. It's British history.
Indiana Jones and the mole people. Indiana Jones. No, I'm just kidding. Indiana
Jones and the time he
hollow
fucked the
Antarctican
Loch Ness monster.
city. Indiana Jones and the Shield of Vishnu. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things in Apocryphal that are interesting that are worth telling. You don't need to make one up for your movie to make it more...
but then again, if you found out tomorrow that, oh, hang on, there's actually idols like that in India, well, would that automatically change your view of Temple of Doom in regards to those idols?
I think that it would probably change the movie. I don't think I would be looking at the same movie, so who knows what my judgment would be there. I think probably, it would be better. I think the movie would be... I think my point is that it would be better if you swapped out fakery with... Swap out a fake lore thing that you made up with something that's based on the mythology of the region that you're connecting to. So it gives it authenticity. So I do think that.
Okay.
What if you found like the literal ship of Theseus or Poseidon's trident? You could go into Greek mythology.
Legends say that the temple of the da gives the user amounts of prana, and then the person that's trying to take over is kind of like Hitler for India or something. Like, you can do anything.
I found the temple of Hammon.
Trying to figure out what is consistent in Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, yes, everything that he has on his person, including his weapons. He's got a revolver or a Colt 1911. I don't give a fuck. That doesn't matter. Having his gloves, that kind of matters, and his hat obviously has to always stay on somehow. He's got his whatever outfit, and he goes out on an adventure, and he's got to be certain things. And then they're usually, because of how it's a pulp story, those once they're invoking all of those tropes, then there are assumptions based on those tropes. That means that he's probably working as a professor, or he's out somewhere doing research, or he's on another adventure that's just at the end, or whatever is happening. And then somebody approaches him. It's either one of his friends, or it's somebody, hey, Dr. Jones? Yeah, it's me from the CIA. You know what I mean? We need your help. I don't work for you guys anymore. So, like, that's the whole rigmarole. And then he goes on an adventure, and it's about, they found something. Or that somebody went missing looking for something. Or we get word of this thing. Or there's an ancient elder of this tribe died and sent you a message as his last warning. You know, it was something that came to him, and then they give him an amulet or something. So what does this mean? It unlocks the hidden temple underneath the thing and gives us whatever. And you can write whatever you want, but what I'm saying is that if you write it mythologically, you'll avoid what happened with the fucking Crystal Skull space aliens. That's not a part of some sort of mythology, is it? What mythological element is that from?
That's literally just saying, obviously, the old trope of aliens help build ancient civilization, which is just that's not really like their mythology. It's stuff that us as modern people have added to them to try and explain.
What does that have to do with the Mayans?
Because square pyramids are found in Mayan culture. They're also found in the Philippines for our aliens. All right, what else can stack stones in that specific way?
And then, like, the Kali Ma thing, are they praying to Kali? Like, what was that?
I don't really know.
They were sacrificing for Kali,
It was Kali Ma. So I thought that was like an interesting concept, but that wasn't really in there. That they didn't really get into the Kali. That you betrayed Shiva. Like, when he said that, I was like, where was that in the movie? Where was all the interesting stuff? That was real.
Kali Ma.
Where was Shakti or whatever? I don't know. The stuff I think would be interesting.
Kamehameha. The Indian gods.
The Indian gods say that you're a bitch, Dr. Jones. What do you think? You betrayed Shiva. I don't eat the monkey brains. Well, the ancient tribes did.
Shonya.
It's just not good. It's not good. That's what I'm saying. Raiders and adding the Nazis in there makes it so that there's an obvious villain that needs to be thwarted. The Soviets as a replacement don't really work in 4. No. And in the second one, there's that is really absent. They try and do the the kid, and then this weird guy who looks like Dr. No for some reason. Dr. Jones, I am the villain. I wear glasses. And then there's not really like an impending threat that's mystically as dangerous. Like they're just like taking people's souls. It's almost like a quaint camp out as opposed to the other two. And I think that it's just not, it doesn't hit in the same notes. And what I'm suggesting is that if they fully went into the idea of Indiana Jones, Westerner, advanced historian, thinking about all this stuff from the past, like I don't really believe in curses or whatever, and he goes in there and he engages in it, and then by the end of it, in his gut, he always cared. Like he always like, if no matter what, he's gonna pick the right side, right? So he's kind of like this noir villain. I mean noir hero in this sort of mystical quest. So I feel like you can go really far into the mystical stuff when it comes to the humans and the rituals and all that kind of stuff, and the more realistic it is, the better it's going to be. Science fiction doesn't work, and coming up with your own stuff comes off as not very deep, shallow.
I agree with Indiana Jones does not work sci-fi stuff. Does not work at all.
Get your hands off the golden box, Hitler man. Doesn't work as well as knowing that it's the Ark from the Bible, because then all the people know what that is. It's like, oh shit, that's the thing from the Bible, Anyway, I think
number 2 bestseller after Harry Potter.
Okay. Anyway, 2 minutes left, folks.
Just like the rest of the series, I think you can appreciate them more for what they are. Not masterful works of art, but pure popcorn fun with our favorite archaeologists.
They are in their own way. It just depends on what you're watching.
This video was sponsored by Squarespace.
Wow.
That's it, yep. Wow.
Oh my god.
I'm going to defend him.
No
and
time.
I'm going to say either or whatever. Okay.
Go on, Glib.
Let me just try.
Nah, I don't care. It's fine.
I'm not shocked, but I'm shocked.
They are popcorn. They're not like serious, but that's what bothers me about the progression of them. If they wanted to keep, George loved the idea, I feel like, and the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles is like this. It's all throwaway stuff. But the idea of, I mean, we're still doing the Richard Rage thing. I'm gonna put these standards that I have and rules to effect for it. I want to come up with something that is unique to the character. The character's backstory is fictional, but it's all going to be based on realistic stuff. I know what Roy Ewan is saying. The crystal skulls are a real thing. I know that the crystal skulls are a real thing, but they don't look like that. I don't know anybody that said that the crystal skulls in real life, if you stared at any of the crystal skulls, they could hypnotize you. That's not a thing. That's made up just so that they can have mind control. Like, why did they shouldn't have done the crystal skull thing. If they already had science fiction. They already were talking about the paranoia of the 50s. Why not have some sort of MK Ultra machine that they use instead of the just staring a skull at the character? Like, it's, I don't know. Just look at the skull. But I don't know. I feel like it's all written and available for you to see. If you can lean into it and then play with it if you want to. But coming up with their own stuff is always substandard in comparison, and that's why I cited those examples. Because in the weakest movies, it's the stuff that's not based on any kind of historical thing. Really, it's just their own creation. With what's Indian giant stones, and then the town gets cursed. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
What does that mean?
That means something to the Indian.
No, it
Okay.
doesn't.
It does.
You can't prove that.
You can't prove Indians are real.
You will go to
no,
Pancot Palace and find the crystals and bring them to me, Dr. Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Have we just come to the revelation that Indians are just Brazilians on the other side of the world? They're not actually real?
Yes.
We'll have to put this in the lore.
But no, I'll always say that Temple Doom is better than Kid and the Crystal Skull. I'm just saying that most of the arguments from it is literally it's not Raiders, and now I've got the argument of, well, I don't really care about the artifacts in it. Okay, but I do. So, sort of, we come at an impasse really, with that argument.
Whereas, because whether you care or not is subjective.
Yeah.
No, okay. So if you want a hard rule, I don't care if you care. It doesn't have to be a hard rule. But what I'm saying is, if you're in the writers' room, and we're trying to figure out how to solve a giant story placement thing for our characters to go through, my suggestion is always going to be, well, let's go and look at their mythology. Let's make it really real.
You know, what if we sent Indiana Jones to Tunisia?
Yeah, that'd be a really good idea. Let's look at what local mythology says. It says here that blah blah blah.
It's like, yes, Kermit.
This is Kermit in the writing room, by the way.
Okay, so anyway, on
This
page
is
34, we
Kermit
have
the Frog
Indiana
and
Jones,
Alec
and
Guinness.
he's walking around with this Asian kid. Do we need an Asian kid in this movie?
Well, yes. I have an Asian kid right here.
Oh, perfect. You'll do.
As the child actors don't require as much money in the script. We can save a lot of, and then get the kids there, and they can pretend to be the kid, and they'll buy the hat. We can sell the merchandise.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So anyway, on page 49, we need to figure out exactly what is happening here. We have this like missing object. There needs to be a MacGuffin that Indiana Jones goes after. And there needs to be something in the character that's driving him that's more than just some 2-bit whore that he's gonna fuck by the end of the movie.
Why is Grand Moff Tarkin and Kermit the Frog writing the Indiana Jones movie?
I was wondering myself. Yes, there should be.
I was wondering myself when
some sort.
No, now it's Obi-Wan. No.
I had
It's Obi-Wan.
Maturity.
The best thing about short
recognizable to the religious senses.
Short round.
To the historical sensibility of the audience in a mature sense.
Yeah, I agree, because we already have a kid going around, and we already have him going after some wacky pussy. There's a lot of comedy going on. But what do you mean about serious? I mean, this movie's about him going after something. He's trying to help the queen of the Congo go after something in the jungle. We have to figure out what that is. Yeah, so that's the whole thing.
Thank you.
Where did you get this leak, Glib?
It was beamed into my head directly from an alternate universe.
Via a crystal
Where,
Glowing CIA initiates.
where Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan, and Kermit the Frog are planning to write the next Indiana Jones movie. What the fuck?
That was George Lucas.
Okay. Glib, thank you. I appreciate you.
We all appreciate Glib. Yes, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to have fun with it, because I remember being 17 and watching Indiana Jones on the day it came out. I waited in line to watch it, and it was disappointing as fuck. Everybody was so disappointed. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I've kind of been
17 for a small hour.
I've kind of been quiet during that little debate because I was on the side that Temple of Doom is good during the video, but Glib, you raised some good points. I don't hold to it needs to be a Christian artifact or it needs to be something relating to the Nazis.
No,
it just the movie just needs to give us a reason to give a fuck.
Yeah, like look
should,
at
no,
it
should,
gave-
I
it
think
gave-
it should be
it
at the
gave me-
heart
it gave
of a
me a
culture.
reason, so-
Yeah.
I think that there's layers that Indiana Jones goes through to get to the core of some sort of mythological concept in the culture, and I really like that because it comes back around to being whatever he has in his personal life. That's reflecting in Raiders. It's he gets the girl that he used to have that he kind of left behind. That's this sort of story, and that's what they regurgitated for Kingdom of the Kister Skrull. And the thing is that Temple of Doom, it's a little bit all over the place. Like what did he set out to do? I don't know. He set out to there was a whole bunch of stuff that was going on in the beginning with a song and dance thing, and I don't even know what that was.
They wanted
that was just something George wanted.
Yeah, George wanted to do something like James Bond.
He wanted to start it out with a dance routine, and that's a good way to put your titles. But in the Indiana Jones idea, it doesn't really make sense because it got the plot rolling before anything had a chance to settle. Like we didn't have a setup like the normal stuff. So anyway, we get through that, and then the third one, it's about him and his father reconciling. So it's about what he left behind when it came to his love in the first one, and then the third one, it's about what he left behind when it came to his family. And that's whatever you're gonna write next. There needs to be some sort of Indiana Jones's personality that needs to be personally a need that needs to be filled, that is solved in the long, circuitous way by also solving the problem of the village, or saving the galaxy, or defeating Hitler, or whatever it is. I don't care what it is. It just has to be something that comes together, comes back around to his personal problem.
By the way, the artifact called the Sankara Stone, which are symbols of the Hindu god Shiva, and that can be found all throughout temples and shrines in India.
Well, is it really? Because when I search Sankara stones, it redirects me to Temple of Doom.
Yeah, that's the first thing. But if you scroll down a bit more, there's actually stuff that tells you about the real life version.
So it is a legend.
No, they're real.
Are they?
Well,
unrelated. Unrelated.
I don't think that they're real.
Well, not like what they showed in
the Ark of the Covenant's not real either.
Yeah, and the Holy Grail's. Yeah, but the Ark of the Covenant's not real. And the Holy Grail's not real.
They're not
Sankara
real.
is a Sanskrit term, but I don't think there are Sankara stones that actually represent anything in the Hindu tradition.
Well, this is what's great about mythology. We can take an idea that some idea.
According to, oh, sorry, Smud, I didn't.
I was just going to go to the concept of you can tell mythology in a fantastical way that will attract people because of the cultural significance. So even if we have something like Egypt, like we started a story about aliens coming down and influencing the shape of the pyramids, who built them, yada yada. We know who built them, but how they had that technology, how they can cut stones so well. These are all these unsolved mysteries. And with that, we had with Stargate, an entire franchise was built based off this well put together story in one film, which then spawned TV shows and comic books and what have you. So you can do the same. And it's the same genre, the same pulpy idea of, well, not even pulp. What would you call it? Just an adventure, really. It's a common mythological adventure, a little bit of technology, a little bit of aliens, a little bit of this and that, just enough to give you some flavor to attract a wider audience. This is the concept of a space opera. You have all these elements of science fiction that are all interspersed, and they all connect in a relatively simple way under the guise of science or technology. So you can tell these stories effectively, and all it takes is one inspiration and one cultural connection to have these things work together. So Indiana Jones is this connection between the pulp and the adventure and bringing it to the big screen that is such a simple formula. And once you do it, it's like, oh, that's it. And you could do this in permutations. That's why we have all these wonderful video game characters. I mean, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, was obviously inspired by the first Indiana Jones film. And what does that mean? How does that work? How do we make gameplay mechanics out of that? Oh, great, just a person jumping around on a 3D platforming. Wow, we've had platformers in 2D for the past decade. We can do that with 3D now. So all these things are so easy to translate from story to game to movie to whatever. And it's all it takes is a simple script for people to identify with. And sadly, the formulas, they were doing too many things. They were experimenting too many ways as opposed to giving with the audience what they wanted, which is a classic Indiana Jones instance. So that's what we're missing. We're missing the actual, and why they did it 20 years later, that does not make any sense to me. That was just a bad idea. If they had it maybe 5 years later, I could buy it because Harrison Ford would still be able to do stuff. There wouldn't be some weird neglected son motif. I just don't think that's a good trope to work with.
Why not just have a bunch of kids, but then he's got to do a mission by himself? He just has to do something, and it's, you know what I mean. What's the problem? Why does he gotta have kids?
It's
in the way.
It could have been a personal story, but then that would take away from the adventure because you want him to be focused completely on the adventure.
And if it's 1950 something, he can get dragged into it and then just be like, "Hey kid, I'm going on an adventure." Like, no, Dad, don't do that. You'll break your back.
Right. Like, imagine that in Terminator 2. It worked so well in Terminator 2 because he was the kid that everyone's focused on. And he happens to be this rebellious hacking genius or whatever, which is kind of weird, but fine. Whatever ATMs.
Genius hacker.
Whatever you could do to hack an ATM, how you even learned to do that, I have no idea. But great. He's that kind of kid. So you can have him along for the ride. He's involved. His life is very important. He is the MacGuffin. You have to protect him and keep everyone away. So you can do these elements with kids if they're central to the story. You can't just have them come along if they're not plot relevant. I don't think what's his name again? Round
Short Johnson.
Short Round. He's not really relevant in lots of places. Lone Square.
Long Square.
Long Square.
Yeah, that's.
So you have to make the elements work the same with like the femme fatale turns into. I think people in the chat was talking about. She turns into a damsel in distress. It's like you don't do that with your femme fatales. Femme fatales are strong and they're independent and they have their own motivations and goals and they're mysterious and sexy and weird, and you don't understand that. And they're always there to influence the hero in a bad way or in a negative way. Mm-hmm. And just to have them as excess baggage is not, like, you do not want excess baggage in an adventure story unless that's the point of comedic relief. Mm-hmm. And she's not funny, unfortunately. She's kind of annoying.
I think the funniest thing is when she faints at the food scene, because it's just disgusting.
That makes sense, though.
It's a bit like, that makes
sense.
Yeah, that's that. It's like oh god, no, you don't really want her involved anymore. Perfectly fine just leaving her in that dining hall unconscious.
If each of the scenes made sense for every character, then you wouldn't have to have an argument about, well, we need a femme fatale, we need this kid to be there. It's like, no. Give me every single scene to match up all the main characters where they're supposed to be there, and it makes sense why they're there, and they're not screaming and running around and a scaredy cat or getting shot at and not dying. Like, you need them to do something relevant. And if it's death, let it be death. Make it be tragic. Make it be sad. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
But don't just have them around and ducking behind stalagmites or whatever and getting captured. It's like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
I agree.
Oh, I was reading something that turned out to be false.
Oh. Okay. That works too.
Always double check your sources, people.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to have a chat with some of these gentlemen here. Thank you guys for tuning in. That wasn't so bad. It was a positive video. Wasn't that horrible? Allowed us to...
Listen, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull made him feel tingly inside. So it's good. And he didn't defend it for shit.
I would have liked him to actually try and defend Crystal Skull with anything. Not just, I like the characters. Okay.
If he was doing,
I can say I didn't.
If he was doing a comparison between the three and then said, well, the fourth one has all the same elements, and you're like, oh, you're right. Why is that good? Like, show us why it's good in the fourth film as it was the same in the other three. Then you'd have a simple job of just going A to A. But he didn't do that. He just said it's good. And you're like, okay, what? No. You skipped over three.
This is good. Bye.
It's the same with three. Three is good because I said so. It's like fourth is also good, but here's some scenes I don't like, but it's still good. You're like, no, it's
like, hey man, are you a movie critic? Because I don't think you know shit about criticism. Like, you need to have an argument. You need to have a point that you want to make, and then you need to. I mean, if you passed a single English class in high school, you would know how to write an essay.
I think
you need 3 points at minimum.
I think Siskel and Ebert gave it 3 stars, but he was explaining like the stuff he wants are just the elements therein. Like, he wants supernatural elements. He wants killing a bunch of Nazis or whomever. Like, all these things he was expecting from a Indiana Jones film. It's like, okay, I mean, that's technically true what you got, but you didn't talk about the execution of why that worked or didn't. So,
yeah,
I want details. I want to know why something's good. It's not hard. It should not be hard to explain that, but
no, and you can get there logically of like, okay, even if you don't know a goddamn thing about like making arguments or subjective versus objective criticism, right? You can get there logically, like, okay, I want to defend this movie because I like it. Okay, I need to make a case for it. Okay, what can I do that showcases strong points in the movie that shows that it's good? And then you go through it and you're like, okay, is this good? How do I measure good? But
so
you can get there yourself.
So a prop designer or a choreographer can look at episode 7 and episode 8 and say, okay, really lots of time and money was spent on special effects or making the movie look good and the fight scenes look good or whatever. And then you say, okay, but the fight scenes weren't that great. And he has to tell us why they're good, because there's so many things wrong with those films. And he has to have this completely biased professional, like, it's good because the camera work was done well to cover the mistakes. It's like, really, how many mistakes were covered? So he could like the technique of the overall experience, even though he has problems with the details. And we have problems with details all over the place because there's so many problems. And then we can say, I understand where you're coming from. I can respect it on that level as well because your arguments make sense. Because we don't have that insight that someone in FX or practical effects or what have you would have. And even though he would say the story doesn't work for me very well, but look at these shots, or look at this fight scene, or it's like, thank you, expert who knows what they're talking about. Like when we listen to Shad Diversity, I'm sure half of the stuff the choreographer wasn't thinking about. There's no way.
You can't talk to Shad anymore. He's being cancelled for being a white nationalist.
What?
Nice.
All right,
Welcome to the party, pal.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a growing number of alt-right extremists in your country. Did you know that? Of course I know him. He's me.
Yeah, on Twitter, this one guy who's trying to start a hashtag trend of cancel Shadow.
Oh, that was a joke,
I thought.
Nationalist. I thought that was a joking account.
Shad's such a sweetheart. Why? How could you cancel it?
Oh, whatever.
No, it's not. I just saw it. I looked at the guy's profile, and I just took one look out. Anyway,
so hopefully next time.
Pause. Does he have his pronouns? Does he have his pronouns in his profile?
Yes.
Oh, of course. See, that's why I thought it was a joke. That's when I saw that I was like, oh, this guy's just kidding around. He's just a goofball. But apparently not. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that we should get people who do these videos who like something that's contrary or whatever, and they have good reasons. And I want to know the good reasons why Crystal Skull is good. I'm sure there's some entertaining parts. I don't remember much of it because I didn't like it that much. But if someone says you should watch, Rosalie Goes Shopping one more time, the interaction with the mother and the father is really. It's like, I hate that film, but please, okay, let's go through your points and understand it more.
If your thing comes down to I like it, then my immediate response is, well, I don't like it. Now you've got to defend your point.
That's all it takes.
Not really. So my counter to that is I don't care if somebody likes it or not. If they want to make a video saying why I liked fucking The Last Jedi, why I liked The Last Jedi, and they're like, oh, I liked this shot. It was pretty. I liked the throne room scene. It was gorgeous to look at. Hold on, Hawk.
That's someone providing a reason. If your literal thing is I like it, and then that's it.
What this guy did is bad. I agree, but hold on. Let me make my point. So if you're going through all these surface level things of why you liked a certain film, you're not judging it on its merits of good or bad. And you're not making that declaration that it is good or bad, and you're not making these reasons why. You're just stating why you liked it. If that is your whole video, fuck yeah, man. Glad you made it. I don't really know what point you're trying to make here, other than just trying to promote the film that you like. But hey, fuck yeah, man. Do it. But when you make a fucking video about defending the bad Indiana Jones movies, you need to have basic high school essay etiquette. Have your introduction, your thesis statement, 3 points you're going to make, your evidence for those 3 points, and your conclusion. Just for fuck's sake, get that bare minimum. And so many people, as soon as they leave high school, they just forget it.
Well, let's be honest. I don't think too many people will consider doing that on YouTube. They'll just say the stuff that they think is relevant, and whether it's logical or has an argument is really up to their taste. So whatever the points are, I'll just take the body of that essay or lack of an essay and say, what's the point you're getting at? And then we'll address that or at least analyze that. So they don't use critical thinking as much. They don't use objective critique. So I don't expect this anyway, unless they know about it. Even that guy who said he was an objective critic, I'm like, yeah, right. That's didn't quite turn out. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's not even so much. I'm expecting I'm expecting them to clarify when they're making objective, subjective points, and all these different things, and go through all these different critical thinking steps. Just fuck's sake, the basic layout of an essay is when you're making a video essay. When you're writing out this script, you need to remember high school. It's the simplest thing in the world.
Well, okay,
but
I refuse to remember high school. You can't force me.
Look at.
I blocked all that
shoved
time
in a
out of my
locker.
head. I will not remember that.
Look
Thank you
at-
very much.
look
I
at,
will still
what's his name?
consume chicken nuggets though.
Chicken nuggets.
Bitch.
Let's look at the latest video by Just Right. Just Right produced a video on Attack of Titan, and this is a very famous anime. It's been going on for a few years, and he was talking about allegory, and you're like, okay, why is he getting flack for it? Because he didn't pay attention. He didn't get the facts right. He started interpreting like the entire third season or whatever. And all the guys, there's so many fans of this very popular franchise. Why would he make this stupid mistake? What is wrong with him?
Yeah.
He's been making mistakes for the past few years, but this is dumb. This is basic stuff. All you do is watch the show and go, this is what happens.
What?
You can make an allegory.
Remember the how angry people got when you mistook Crifius for Morrigan in a trailer video for Dragon Age.
I still think that was Morrigan because that's the same looking arm thing, but apparently it's Crifius.
So you got that, but so why would you make a whole video knowing that people are going to be that into it and make those many mistakes? It's like, wow, okay. You're just looking for trouble.
So with someone like that, we can't really work with that because it's just the rest of the film or the rest of the video is just bunk because it's so biased. He's looking for things that aren't there, or he's imagining things that aren't there because he's inspired by, I don't know, his experience in war or whatever the hell he's talking about. So those kinds of guys were just like, this is a joke. But we get these young dudes or these very enthusiastic guys who hopefully have some insight. I don't really care how many cuts they do, who understand something that I don't, or who see something that I don't. I'm like, that's interesting. And then we could actually make a positive analysis and hopefully come to some new learning, some new experience I didn't see before. That's what I'm looking for. We can't find it. I was hoping we'd get somewhere with this gentleman. But it was just mostly, I'm a fanboy. I like it. It's fun. It's like all the others. Pulp is good. Why are you guys not liking it? It's not really.
I'll just say he did a half decent job with Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I know. Arguments from genre though. Once you use the genre argument, you have to use details of the genre. You can't just say, "Well, there's a femme fatale."
He doesn't know what he doesn't want to know what he doesn't know what a B movie is. So
that's inspired.
That's stick with me.
Definitely inspired by the pulps, but not the same thing. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was fun. I enjoyed it. That was good listening to you guys.
It was fun.
Brought to you by Boris Johnson.
This stream was brought to you by Squarespace. Have you ever tried to build a website and just couldn't fucking get it right? So Squarespace is ass. You should talk to Mark in 3D. He'll help you out. Anyway.
Oh yeah, Mark.
Go fuck yourself.
You're a web developer. Mark, you make websites?
Squarespace is easy.
God damn it, this is so embarrassing. Yeah, I am a web developer.
Oh, me too. Fantastic. What do you know? All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That's not embarrassing. What are you talking about? What's wrong with that?
I think
it is embarrassing because I'm being unemployed for 5 months now.
Embarrassing.
No, I'm probably going to say it is embarrassing when you see the websites he's made.
Well, I worked on government websites. Does that say much?
Oh
It's
shit!
more embarrassing.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's no. Keep Mark and 3D far away from your websites. Keep him far away,
bro. That's incredibly cringe. Because
It's good
even though I used to work for the website.
If you worked for the government, I know you work for cheap, so I'll keep your number.
It's the Hungarian government too. It's even cheaper.
Oh my god,
that's perfect. I share
actually
a lot
met
of
with
things in
Orban,
common
so.
with Hungary. I am hungry myself.
One schmeckle, isn't it?
I am hungry myself.
Anyway,
I'm something of a hungry man myself.
Oh no. Anyway, thank
I
you.
say that every time I get up.
Indiana Jones, stop being made. Peace out, glib cowboy, forever.
All right. Well, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys real soon. Have yourself a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.